Hello and welcome back to Dune Saga, everyone. This is our Ask Me Anything Dune rap party. We will be discussing the game, characters, and so on. Our viewers and fans in the chat are more than welcome to toss questions at me or the cast, so buckle up and prepare your inquiries now. First, let's introduce our wonderful cast here, beginning with Ambrose.
Hey everybody, I am Ambrose. My pronouns are any. You can find me all over the internet as Am Changeling and on Etsy at Thornkind. And I've got some new designs coming in my shop, by the way. Uh, yeah. And tonight I will not be playing anybody, so there.
Well, but who did you play?
Oh. A functioning human being. No. I play Soshir.
I mean, at least in this go around, our body's functional.
Good point.
Carry on.
Aaron.
Hi everyone, I'm Aaron. My pronouns are anything except he, him. I played Louise Cheshire. Yep, she had a fun time.
Oh, well, so I changed the overlay.
Oh,
like
I
it.
see.
Ooh,
Well done.
that is nice.
Devin.
Hello all, my name's Devin. You can find me online at Sort of Silly, and tonight I am proud to have been and will be Norma Konki-sen, everyone's least favorite Bene Gesserit.
There's a
I don't know,
bunch more. Okay, I was prepared to kill Helena Hyam this season.
Oh, I know. Sorry, let me phrase it then. The Bene Gesserit's least favorite Bene Gesserit.
That's more accurate, yes.
Oh my god. Okay.
Leo.
Hello, my name is Leo. You can find me here on Twitch. I don't know why I said that. Well, for season 3, I played Archibald, and he is no longer Landsrat Archibald, but he is an outcast Archibald, and he's gonna bring a giant army over to crush all of his enemies.
Yeah, well, hopefully it works out for him. And last but not least, of course, Rachel.
Hello, I am Rachel. I'm still on fires pretty much everywhere, including here and on Twitter and elsewhere, and every social media platform. I just sign up and I camp the name. And I played Lady Daphne. And tonight I am drinking a gin that I was saving specifically for tonight. It is called Empress.
Very nice. I'm Eric at Rakusa Online. We're waiting for one more. Fingers crossed, we might have a Kisama in the house at some point to ask some questions and answer them. But who wants to start us off proper with some questions?
Well, I have a great little list. You want to do one from there, or what do you guys got?
All right.
Let's start with your questions.
All right.
And chat, feel free to ask any sort of secrets. Okay. Well, first question goes to Eloise from Drea LaFay. How do you always look so good on stream?
Wigs, 45 minutes of makeup, and also no you.
All right.
Your wigs are really nice.
You should see the one I have for Blade Runner, which I guess you'll see next week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Next week? Oh, wait, we're a week off? Okay.
Yeah, so we have a week off because
Okay.
the week after next I'm going to England for a LARP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't
so-
send me pics every single second, I will die.
Well, so it's set in medieval times, so I don't know that I can have my phone out all the time.
Fuck.
Okay, well, Dre has another really good question. What do you feel your most challenging scene was for your character this season? So for me, it was the scene in the generator room with Alicia. Daphne's dying. trying to stop anyone else from dying. And just trying to preserve everything that she cares about. Just... It was a lot of fun, it was super intense. Oh, and the question also goes for Eric, if you had a challenging scene.
Oh, man. Scene that I had the most difficulty writing was, I think, the one about Zoshir, not the Tau orgy as they call it, but like I had to like figure out how his past was different, and that required a lot of like research and figuring out like how could this work. Oh, here it is, and I had to put that puzzle together. At least in terms of planning, yeah, that was the most difficult one I had to conceive of.
So
Sorry about that. Are we still
Yeah.
chat
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, so Drea has asked, what was the most challenging scene for your character this season?
Oh, 100% confronting the Baron the first time. I'm gonna be honest with you. That
was a fun
made
one to
Jared
write.
shit himself a little bit. Like, Archibald was like really putting on that brave face, but inside he was shitting his pants. He did. He showed some backbone, but let's just say when he got back to the ship, he shit his pants.
Wardrobe change.
So, for Daphne, even though that was one of the most challenging scenes for you, that was the scene where Norma got to be like, yeah, let me show Eric what a Bene Gesserit can do when they really try. Hardest scene.
I
Go
also
ahead, Finn.
feel like you showing the dead doctor's wife to the Bene Gesserit, there's gonna be some
Wasn't dead.
consequences from that.
Was
What?
when I
Wasn't dead.
finished.
Well, okay.
Well, she is
I see
Yeah,
what
now.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't gonna let that stay living. Not when there wasn't even anything left of Juana in there. Fuck that. No.
I feel
Plus,
so bad.
Yeah, that was a hard one to think of. Oh, how am I gonna narrate this?
yeah. Oof. Yeah, that
I
was
love-
rough.
Like,
But
from
great.
a story standpoint, though, I loved it because I love monsters, and that
Well,
one.
the Harkonnens are the biggest
creepy.
monsters there are, and you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you were
Like the show.
describing it, all I could think of was, I will just say Full Metal Alchemist.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I described it to some of my friends. I was like, yeah, we had the Alexander daughter scene.
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah.
And I was like, the right choice was made.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. That wasn't a choice in Norma's book. That was just a this is
Something had to be
awful. It needs to be done. And also opportunity.
Stick it to
So-
the sisterhood.
The part that got me with that scene was she nonchalantly like followed every order, like her will was just completely gone. She was just
Yeah.
of it. I was
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
killer.
But,
I want to know how that's gonna, like, do you think that kind of goes into one of my questions, Devin, but do you think that the Dr. Yue is going to be very pissed off that you didn't bring the body back to him instead of the Bene Gesserit?
Oh, I'm going to tell him that this is I took a lock of hair and said that this is the only part left of her. This is for you to remember her by.
Yeah, because you don't... Like, it was never, like, explicitly described, but there was enough for us to each get a picture of what it was like, and you don't want that to be his last memory of the woman he loved.
No.
Like, the
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
other option was, like, here's her ashes!
Yeah. So I basically am going for the here is a lock of her hair. It does have her genetic information if for some reason he's like, I'm a Gola. But I don't expect UA to do that. But that way he's got this is something that is hers. It reminds him of her. He can keep it for the rest of time without, he's a soup doctor. He's going to be able to make sure that it's preserved properly. He's not going to, it's not like he's going to be like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Yeah,
It's
with season 2, you established that she was dead, so he kind of already made his peace with that, and this was like, I just want to be able to properly, bury her and, pay respects and stuff. So.
I will say, her body was, you don't want that. I disposed of it properly, but here is something to remember her by, because anything beyond that would just be cruel to the memory of her for him.
So we could use that. Clone?
No,
no more clones.
Okay, haven't we already established that cloning is what got you into Schitt's Creek with the rest of the family?
I was just messing with you.
So,
don't clone the family.
Drea wants to make sure that Eloise and Zoshir also answer her question about your most challenging scene.
Sure. I know mine. Mine was when Amira got called to the guild solo, and I basically had to sort of plot against myself and keep secrets from myself. That was I had to like split my brain in two for a little bit there. So that was the most challenging for me for sure.
That was
You
really
mean
well
playing
done roleplay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
You mean playing chess with yourself is
Yeah,
hard?
yeah, it turns out playing chess with yourself is really fucking hard.
We're all staring
Ambrose,
at
where are you?
Zoshir now.
Yeah, everyone stared really intensely.
Oh gosh. Honestly, so mine's a little bit of a boring question. When I was first feeling out the character, every scene was my most difficult. Because my characters kind of like develop their own personality in a way, but obviously they're a creation of my head. What's so funny, Norma?
Because one of the first scenes that you had as Zoshir was, I'm a kidnap a duchess.
That is true.
I was feeling out my character. I was wondering if they were into, body
Just popped in there.
snatching. Just, if that's just one of the things they want to do.
Tired.
All right. Next question. All right. I'm just going kind of down the list that I have here. So
Fire
first
away.
one is for Rachel. The marriage with Zoshir. How is that going to benefit the house?
All right.
House Cheshire.
So
Nice.
I have two answers. I have the in-game answer and the metagame answer. So the in-game answer is that it will definitely benefit the house to have positive relationships with the Fremen. And like this essentially will give House Cheshire the cheat code to DUNE, to Arrakis. And so the metagame answer is so if we continue to sort of stealing Atreides' narrative beats, like I'm still sort of like from a meta perspective, like Daphne does not see this coming, except in like vague terms. But the Harkonnen and Sardaukar is still going to attack somehow. Like maybe UA won't betray them, but something will happen. And I don't know if we're gonna save Leto or not. But I do anticipate there will be a scene of the house fleeing into the desert as the only way out. the way that Paul and Jessica essentially just had to fuck off and flee into the desert, and everyone's going to assume that like Paul and Jessica died, where in reality they met up with Stilgar, but then Paul had to kill Jamaris?
I think that's the right name.
Jamis.
Jamis.
Yes.
Jamis.
To prove themselves. But Daphne's like already 6 steps ahead of that, so like, we gotta flee to the desert. Okay, well we're going to I am blanking.
Siege to beer?
To beer. Yes.
To beer or not to beer, that is the question.
Like oh, the house is under attack. Well, I guess we're going to my Fremen husband. Hi, Stilgar, we need help.
Yeah, I love that backup support. Yeah.
Your husband.
Yeah.
So
I don't actually know that this will happen because Eric is very, very devious and very good at throwing curveballs. That is my assumption.
So
I have a question for you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
proceed.
Mike, go ahead.
I just had a question while Rachel was talking about what's going to happen. I'm curious, what would have happened if Daphne never took the water of life? Like, what kind of character would she be, and what sort of decisions would she have made?
So, finding out that Varys was actually off Cardis, she would have been like, well, fuck off. This pregnancy's a wash. I'm fucking off to Kaitane and seducing an emperor.
Go for the throat. Wow.
Fucking off to
Wildly different
Kaitane.
decisions.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, because, like, the only other person I care about is my brother. He's on Kaitane. The only way that I can be safe is on Kaitane. And, like, essentially sort of feed into the narrative hints of a very cold Daphne ending up on the throne.
So I want you to
So
know-
that one prediction was somewhat accurate, where you would be sitting on the throne and you would be like, bring a mirror to me, and
Right.
okay.
So
I got
I
lucky on
want
that
you to
one. Okay.
know,
Well, I mean, I was also, like, leaning into the hints that you were giving, so...
I was really hoping you were going to stay that way.
Jesus
Because half my
Christ.
problems would be solved if you would have stayed that way. I just want you to know that.
Oh, okay, here's the thing though. Would they have been solved or would they have been made worse? Because then she might
Well,
have been.
Yeva would be dead, 100%. Okay, I would get her army. Yeah, I would be like, hey, Delazar, I'd be like, did you kill your wife? I'm gonna be like, it wasn't me.
But she
I was over here fucking off over here. I didn't do it. All right.
Fair.
Yeah, but, like, at a certain point, Daphne would have been, like, in her quest to seduce the Emperor. Because this was also her, like, plan Z if Eloise managed to kill Varys. That was also what she was gonna do. But then, if she had the Water of Life, she's like, alright, I want a timeline. Make him think these kids are his. At some point would have been like, oh, hey, I'm gonna trade you some information. Guess what my uncle's up to?
Oh, fuck off.
Remember, Jared, this was the times of Darth Daphne.
Yeah, you're right. She was basically a Harkonnen in disguise.
Timeline.
Oh,
Yikes, that's harsh.
That is like
dark.
that's like Harkonnen shit. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a dick, and then I'm gonna tell everybody else's plans. That's Harkonnen right there.
Well, I suppose we're all happy that happened.
and
All right.
now Norma gets to find out what it's like when twins become abominations.
Oh, that's
Yes,
gonna be
yes.
So, Eloise,
Abominate twin.
I have a question for you.
Oh no.
The Golden
Ouch.
Path. Are you going to accomplish it differently from the books or keep it the same?
So the thing about the Golden Path is that, like, I think Drea quoted it in chat earlier, to view the path is to walk it. Paul looked away and ended up blind, not because of that, but maybe because of that. So I think this, because she's seen it, that means, yeah, she's gonna have to walk it now.
Okay. But are you gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna be just like Leto and just treat you like shit until you decide to overtake me? Do you think there's another way of like accomplishing that other than treating you like shit?
Aaron for sure thinks there's a different way. I hate the golden path personally. It runs against every one of my political and ethical leanings in life. But I think Eloise is extremely ruthless and has had enough of shit of the universe and is going to dole out the shit she's been dealt in life in the worst way possible.
You also,
That sounds exciting.
you're also going to be one of the few women who get to know the answer for sure. Drea's question. Would you still love me if I was a worm?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that
Ooh.
was one of my questions for Eloise. Was now that you're on this path to transformation, how do you think that's going to impact her relationship with Amira?
Oh, it's probably gonna go poorly, but how quickly or slow, I guess. I'm not sure. We'll see. They've been through a lot together already, so maybe she would still love me if I'm a worm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can totally see Amira being like standing guard outside the wormhole.
The spice tank. Yeah. Well, we're on that same subject. What kind of storylines and would you like to see for Eloise moving forward?
Ooh, it's a tough one. I love intrigue, as always. I want Aldrich to get his for sure. That's the thing I want to see. Edric, yes, there we go. Definitely want to see him get his. I imagine pretty quickly we're going to have to go back to the one ruins that they went to in season 2, so I can get a cure for Mira. So that will probably be a thing. That'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm always.
We might get Lysander back for that one.
Ooh.
I am
Speaking of
willing to
Lysander.
play multi-characters on a stream. So
Thank you.
I was actually going to ask both Ambrose and Eric. I was gonna be like, hey, can he be like an NPC? Because I also feel like that would be like one of the perfect people for Two Pile.
Who did you want as part of the
Yeah, so like I think it
Who?
would have been cool. I think it would have been cool to have him like me go over there, give him like visions and shit or something crazy like that, and somehow actually like recruit him, and we become best pals. We fuck shit up together. Yeah,
Buddy
best friends for life.
comedy.
I missed. Bring back who?
Lysander,
Nice.
Oh,
who nobody knows is a cyborg now.
Ooh.
Eep poop.
Blurp blurp.
well, I mean, you'd fit in perfect there.
Mhm.
It's true.
Well, that's what I was saying. So
So, wait, here's the question though: which one of the two of you would be the straight man?
do you want to
alright,
know the truth about that?
Rhea has
Archibald.
another question on if any of us are considering changing characters for the next season.
Mhm.
I am not. If Daphne had like fucked off to Kaitate or whatever, I probably would have retired her. But I think she's still got some cool story.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I wasn't considering it, but I suppose if Eloise ended up transforming in a direction where like she becomes unplayable in the sense that she can only live in a tank, I would probably just switch over and play Amira.
I wouldn't say she's unplayable even in that state, because
Okay.
if you value something like intrigue and you want to get back at Edric, then you could potentially rejoin the guild, and that's how you might be able to get back at him. Just a thought.
Okay. Noted. But yeah, I was not considering retiring Eloise.
Yeah. No, I am
Yeah.
so fucking excited for
I
June
have a
5
feeling it's a
because
whole
no
sea of no's.
The only reason why Norma would get retired is if Norma dead.
Oh, that's what the retirement means for.
Because I mean, Norma still has 1,000 ways that she can do 1,000 different things, but she just has to figure out a new plot line for herself. Because the key statements in Norma's thing was basically Quetzalcoatl, grow the house, and join the Annals of History. And she kind of done all these 3 things right now. So
She hit all the notes. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so now if she dies suddenly, she still dies on a happy note. Plus, she still isn't dead because her post completion is sitting in Daphne's head now,
Yeah.
somewhat begrudgingly, but
That's a good point. A question for Zoshir. Now that Zoshir knows that they're technically a Harkonnen, would they open to inheriting and managing a major house?
Oh shit. So Zoshir has had to become very mature very quickly. I think that is one thing that he would stay kind of immature on for a little while longer.
Sure.
naive
Yes, it's a
Baron
good thing that
Zoshir.
you're gonna get a wife to explain things like, no, okay, this is the political reality, dear.
You're gonna have the whole like My Fair Lady, except My Fair Fremen, where he's like eating with his hands, and you're like, no, wait, you gotta use the fork on the
Okay,
left. left.
Yes. So you start on the outside and work your way in with the silverware.
the introduction, and now Baron Naib Zoshir Harkonnen. Or would it be Naib
Yeah.
Baron?
We gotta get some revenge for Key, of course. So it's probably gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
For Pardo,
I-
sorry, not Key.
I specifically asked Eric a question aside about that with the Bene Gesserit powers because Norma would be pissed when she finds out who done it. Right now she's under the presumption that it was just the Baron as an overall. Norma finding out, that would be a Norma plotline from here.
While we're on the subject of Norma, I had a question for you. With the
All right.
Sisterhood dead set on destroying her, what is her end goal as far as dealing with them? Will she try to further the schism that Kyra started and try to fracture the Sisterhood, or take it over as its mother superior?
If possible, take it over, but looking at what's going on, Norma is not expecting to take over, so now she's kind of dead set into the Kyra plan of disrupt everything. Guild going down, Bene Gesserit going down, Imperium going down.
Gotcha.
Like she's now riding the wave into its tsunami, and then
Composition. Yeah.
hopefully riding it rather than falling in and burning with it.
Okay. Oh, makes sense.
So, I have a question for our Conky Sen over here. Are you still gonna pressure Daphne for Leto babies?
She could try. She could
Yeah.
definitely try.
I think she's good because she just made 2 abominations. Like, right now, Norma's looking at this like, okay, fuck. Let's see what abominations look like when they grow up.
Yep.
And also, like,
Don't stab me in the back.
Daphne would be like, why the fuck would I take a 3rd husband? Why would I
You're not
marry a
wrong.
man who's in love with another woman?
Hey, accidents happen.
Oh no.
No. After the whole thing of going over to Caladan and, going from I am doing the whole sisterhood bit, put your hand in the box. Oh, hey, by the way, sorry, they're trying to kill me. Oh, not you, but thanks for the help.
Well,
Yeah,
so this
after.
sort of feeds into the question that I have for Ambrose is, do you plan to tell Daphne what you know about Zoshir's heritage?
Good question.
Let's see. He was explicitly told not to. I don't. That I'm not really sure. I have to think on that one a bit because he was told not to, but he also wouldn't want to keep anything from Daphne, but also he wouldn't see a point unless it was relevant in the moment, like just randomly coming at it. Like, by the way, would be a little out of character for him.
Everybody else is like, damn those Harkonnens, and he's like, yeah, damn those Harkonnens. Oh, shit.
Fuck those Harkonnens.
Because I remember Devin messaging me that Norma was tasked with trying to get Daphne to get with either an Atreides or a Harkonnen for genetic purposes. And so, like, if Daphne did know Zoshir's heritage, and if Norma kept trying, like, oh yeah, you should still get with Leto. But I have the missing Harkonnen right here, so fuck off.
It's like I already got a Harkonnen. Get off. Get off my back, man.
Could be useful.
The only Harkonnen that Norma would be like, okay. I'm not gonna have to, paralyze him and then do away with him when we're done. Okay.
I mean, I have a follow-up question for Ambrose about this too. Do you think the Fremen are gonna be on board with you being a Harkonnen? Like, I know there's like 1 or 2 that know, but if the greater populace of Fremen found out the Muad'Dib's a fucking Harkonnen, how do you see that going?
This might just be me and knowing that there are some funky twists that Eric likes to throw in things. They might actually really embrace it because it's like, we're turning your own against you, or on the other hand, Zoshir, if he disowns every bit of Harkonnen-ness, they might be all good with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all how you spin it, because you could be like, oh, yeah, I stole this heritage, essentially, for the Fremen, and I'm not claiming it, but I'm using it to benefit the people who are truly my people.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Plus, you're already the Muad'Dib. You blatantly said, is everyone okay with this random Bene Gesserit being a Saya? Yeah? Oh, really? No questions? No questions? Okay.
So, Eric,
Yes.
your turn. Dun, dun, dun.
All right.
I want to know how many times we derailed you this season.
Oh shit! I stopped counting. I stopped counting.
With the amount of subplots that we had to go through because we just kept bringing them in. So I want to say,
it's a. Jeez.
Go on.
No. Just continue.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, I'm like, yeah, Eric puts a lot of funky shit in this game, but I also think we do it 10 times back to him.
Alright, well, so
Yeah, I mean, you. Go ahead.
what was the first derailment?
The reveal that Kyra was still alive, that wasn't supposed to happen. Not until after Leviathan, where I had like a secondary little mini story that I wanted to tell. Because I usually will do 2 stories for a season and then that's it. But because that you had triggered the reveal of Kyra ahead of time, that sort of short-circuited what I had in mind. But it's okay, because I think I can still manage to salvage some of the surprises that I had originally contained in that for the beginning of season 4, where you'll find out what life is like under the Atreides as opposed to the life under the Harkonnens.
So, like, without asking for any spoilers that are gonna show up in season 4, like, what was the original script of events?
It was supposed to, after Raban, like, you know, embarrasses himself and the Harkonnens are on their way out during that transition period where the Atreides are on their way in, there would have been, you would have encountered some of the other factions that kind of lie underneath the surface of Arrakis that are not the Fremen and not the smugglers and not the Harkonnens. These are the sort of like the bottom feeder organizations, the criminal aspects of Arrakis. You would have started having interactions with them without knowing, and then you sort of would have gotten embroiled into this larger conflict, which would have led to the reveal that, surprise, Kyra's still alive and at the heart of all the stuff that's going on.
Oh, Daphne would have been so hurt. Be like, you've been here all along and you didn't reach out.
Right, so it was okay in the end. Like, you found her, and yeah, if she would have found out, obviously, that the House Cheshire was alive and well on Arrakis and operating on Arrakis, she would have reached out in some way, and she had the ability to do that. So it worked out. I think it made for a better narrative ultimately that you derailed my my original plans.
So I guess come on.
Alright, I just have one follow-up question. I'm sorry. So,
Oh, you're good.
how did the Amira storyline work into that with Amira getting contracts from the guild?
Yes, the thing with Amir. Well, that was let's see. There's a couple of reasons why she ended up being killed in the way that she did. The first was that let's see. The first part I wrote down was because I anticipated this question. Well, the first reason is that every season of Dune has the twisting of the knife a little bit, so that was probably going to happen at some point or another. But and for those of you that are unaware, spoilers for season 2, but basically the rival house, the Carrolls, used atomic weapons as part of their secret suicide pact to avenge their murdered daughter, and as their last parting shot for Canley. In doing so, they laid Aberlock to ruin, and only the House Cheshire survived relatively unscathed. I say relatively because they still lost their Duchess to an assassination by the House Carroll sleeper agent Alicia. But the second reason was for the actually I figured out things quicker than thought with concerns to Kyra. I already said this. I didn't anticipate this is happening. So that's one of the reasons why she ended up dying. I didn't anticipate that Amira was going to do that. I just kind of figured, well, you know, at some point she's going to have to pass the torch to Daphne, sort of in the way that Adelaide had to do so, and she would have had to basically put the the omens and all the terrible purposes that she was pursuing as part of her curse of prophecy to Daphne. And that all was eventually going to happen at some point, probably in Sahaya Tabir, where, as it turns out, is where everybody does like a 180. That's where she died. That's where Zoshir became a Naib. That's where Daphne became a Sayadina and expanded her consciousness. So like everybody, and that's where Varys fell in love with her and became an ally as opposed to an enemy. So like that Siege Sahaya kind of, as we were playing, became this place where it's like, this is where people go to like change, you know? So it just kind of worked out that way.
You didn't have any of that planned?
For Amira to go ham on Kyra? No,
For
absolutely not.
Siege Sahaya to be the place to change his people.
No, I wasn't sure if Daphne was going to undertake the agony or not. That I was kind of bugging. I was putting a bug in Devin's ear, like in secret messages, like, so, were you planning on doing this eventually, or just want to know? I'm asking for a friend, you know.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure that you had the heads up about it too, because when I was like, ooh, this could be a thing. This could totally be a thing. Hey, Eric, what would happen if? Is it okay? Are you prepped for this?
So, Drea has another question for Eric. Are you disappointed there was no actual worm hunt in a game titled Leviathan?
Not at all. I that's one of the things that I had somewhat anticipated, was that like, fuck the Harkonnens, am I gonna go, you know, chasing worms all over Arrakis? Like, fuck all that noise. I wasn't disappointed in that at all. I was actually pleasantly surprised at the actions that were taken when it was actually time, when it was go time to actually destroy the Leviathan. Rachel's choice to completely sabotage that was brilliant. I loved it. It was so appropriate.
The real Leviathan was the friends we made along the way.
So
exactly.
Here's another.
I was gonna say that real worm hunt was us going after the Harkonnens.
Yeah.
And taking all their spice. So, I kind of a side question for you, Eric, on that one. I want to know, do you like it this way when we derail your games like this?
Sure, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it always works out better. You guys are constantly like, "Oh, that was a great game," but like you all made it happen because you made good characters, and those characters made these choices that resulted in better gameplay. So
I want you to. You saying that, Eric, has given me authority to derail the game every game.
You mean like you haven't done that already? Like,
yeah, you're not wrong.
You're on 2-Pile, which is clearly nerd and full of heresy that you're going to bring back.
I'm up to my ears in heresy right now.
Hey,
for real.
Hey, it's part of the family business anymore. I mean, we have Ekaz, which is full of heresy, which Daphne got to be a part of for Lysander, which also Pardo and Norma got to be a part of.
Shit.
You have your heresy. Yeah, you were. Daphne was mad at me, but
no, I have to have a conversation with Massim and ask him if he wants House Yassi.
Oh shit.
So
good observation.
He's entitled to it.
It's true.
Oh boy.
So much heresy going on around us.
So much. I'm, to be honest, okay. So here's the thing with 2-Pile, all right? I'm going to do my best not to commit as much heresy because Archibald is a big believer as you learn from your mistakes. And obviously, the jihad was a giant mistake. So,
I wish you all the best, and you have my sympathies.
Agreed. It may not happen that way, though.
I have a question for Archibald.
Okay.
Did Archibald ever love Yeva?
Yes, with an asterisk.
Oh, so I
So
don't know
He
if
would
that counts
love
as
to
love.
strangle her at some point.
it's very complicated with that because he knew it was 100% political. But on the other hand, he wasn't against giving her a chance to be like a wife, you know what I mean? So like it was kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, we're in this political relationship, but I don't know if we're gonna actually love each other unless you show me that we can love each other. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why he was really standoff against Yeva is because she never showed any love towards him. He just got berated by her multiple
Except for the
times.
parts where she seduced him.
That was literally the only time. And like that was literally the only time she was even somewhat nice to Archibald. So
I
like
will, yeah.
in
I will
Archibald's
say
mom,
she never gave you a reason to love her.
no, she never gave Archibald a reason to even love her back, to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
in retrospect, no, but she had her chance.
He was a very conniving kind of character, so yeah, it's understandable if you say no. Like, this is just a a married political thing or whatever with regards to her.
So, but yeah, and also like I know that's kind of like a hot topic, but like in terms of that, I was really hoping y'all were gonna kill her.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
surprised that it
Your
didn't
wife,
happen.
she's your problem to fix.
You guys were
At this
on
moment-
the road to killing her, but then
At-
Daphne got a nice streak in her and fucked everything up.
well, at this moment, it's all in Eloise's hands. Literally, because Eloise
That was
has the
actually my
residual
backup
poison
plan.
to save them.
Yeah. That was honestly my backup plan because obviously Eloise hates her, so
But on Yeva, I think my favorite bit of shade against her was Daphne when she's like, "Oh, is she having a boy or a girl? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
what
right.
gender did she choose?
Yeah, what gender did she choose? Oh, that's right."
That was,
I was
yeah.
I was hoping I could use that line against her as just a flex, like, hey, we are operating on two entirely different levels, lady. You cannot keep up.
just
Yeah,
the
the line that she gave her at the dinner table, like, try harder. that was like, oh, perfect. Well
so in
done.
terms of metagame, if Archibald finds out that we killed his heir, he's not going to be happy. Because that was part of his plan, was to raise the heir with House Cheshire. Because he knew Tupac was going to be a very dangerous place when he first got there.
Wait, so I want you to kill my wife?
But
and
keep
mother
her
my
alive
child,
long
but
enough.
not my child?
Yeah.
Let's
Kill
go.
her yourself, you coward!
I tried. Gonna be honest with you.
You didn't try hard enough because she's
Obviously
still
not.
alive.
Honestly, I am trying to figure out a plan to get her in 2 feet in the ground with Archibald. And if you suckers don't get in the way of it, it'll work. But I'm gonna be honest, whenever I have a plan to kill her, like you guys are like, oh no.
Hey,
Daphne gets a
don't
nice
lump
streak.
me in.
Kinda
Norma's
gross
like,
to
oh,
kill
you
your
don't
own
want
wife,
to kill
my
her.
dude.
Yeah, don't throw me in there too. I'm the one who poisoned her.
You're not wrong.
She's only dying because of me.
I gave the order. I will take responsibility for that.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Norma was very unhappy with her existence the moment she started throwing shade on her family.
Fair.
So,
You
No,
gave the order, but Norma was just like, oh, goody.
No, Daphne plans to do a Julius Caesar next season to her.
oh
So-
wow.
No, so Julius Caesar would forgive his enemies as like a show of authority over them. Like he forgave him as a flex.
Right.
Like, you're clearly not a threat to me, and I am demonstrating my benevolence by forgiving you. And so
And now you owe me one. Yeah.
yeah, and so Daphne's plan is like, oh, I'm just gonna kill this bitch with kindness. Like, I'm so sorry your husband abandoned you. This must be a difficult time. You're more than welcome to, like, be set up either on Jabberwock. You're not the steward anymore. I'm so sorry that didn't work out. But, you know, he left you and you're not a member of any house now. But we'll still support you. You know, relative comfort.
Oh yeah. Until
Unless you want to join the house and actually do good work.
Always
'Cause
use
I-
another war master.
Yeah, no,
So
she's a youthful war asset.
She is,
as long as she's
100%.
not like trying to tear shit down from the inside.
Like Sorry.
So my plan when Eloise gets there, I'm gonna propaganda the fuck out of that bitch. That bitch is gonna be begging to join us when she sees what an actual orator can do.
Oh, okay. So your plan is exactly what mine was before Archibald got himself forgiven.
I just saved the whole planet from a mile-long spaceship crashing into it and killing everyone.
Yeah.
I have the best propaganda machine working for me already. I saved the entire planet, you fucks.
So I'm
Very
gonna be
nice.
honest with you. I legit thought about taking her to 2-pile because like she's extremely good war master, probably as good as Archibald. And but the thing is I knew it was going to be more of a headache than anything else because she is so far up the Harkonnen's ass, I guarantee you. And that's kind of like metagaming. I'm kind of afraid right now of that because I am afraid the Harkonnens know about what I'm planning through her.
Oh fuck, she's the UA.
Yeah. She is.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that would have been very difficult for you when she got to 2-pile. How many doses of residual poison you'd have to give her. And you would have a very limited supply, so you'd kind of have to ration them out for her. Sorry, you gotta feel like shit this month.
Yep. Oh, I know that. But still, I could have made it work. But either way, like, yeah,
She
I
only
thought
needs to
about
be
it.
alive just long enough for her to be useful.
Pretty much, yes. But I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I know that's gonna be a bigger headache than
Just ask that thinking machine for the antidote. I'm sure it knows.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. So
It probably won't ask for anything awful in return, right?
of course.
Totally
Anyway.
not. No.
Anyways, back up to Rachel. Knowing what Varys is capable of doing, do you have fears he will kill someone important?
Oh, okay. So, I was talking about this a little bit when we opened the Zoom before we went live. So I would not be surprised if Varys killed Omelis, and the hint is in Omelis' name, because there's a short story written by Ursula K. Le Guin called "The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelis," and it's this story about it's this beautiful paradise in Utopia, but it relies on the torture of a single child. And the ones who walk away from Omelis are the ones who figure this out, who realize it and decide that they cannot live in a utopia where this is the price. And so I think Omelis' name is a hint that he is the one who was pivotal in Haifa's death. Haifa being the Carol child who died through, essentially Cheshire was like, we're doing a blockade, this child will not get her life-saving medicine, we don't care if she dies. I'm pretty sure Omelis was involved in that. And so if Varys learns that or figures it out and decides to kill Omelis in revenge, I will not be surprised.
One small detail: the thing that you're describing, where the blockade would keep precious medicine to get to the child, that was actually the reason why the Moritani made war with House Ikaz. That was during season 2. But you're right on. It's a much better idea than what I had, which was just somebody killed her. An assassin came out and kill her. And then they said, oh, it wasn't meant. She wasn't meant to be the target. It was supposed to be one of the elder Carols, and that was total bullshit. As came to find out.
So I guess the big thing for me with Varys is that he killed kids, and that's kind of like the biggest thing. Like
But when did he kill kids?
the family, the old Varys' family, he had kids.
Varys didn't have children.
Yeah,
Then?
he
Oh,
killed the
no.
dying original, and he killed his plastic surgeon, and he
Hmm.
killed the other witnesses. But I was assuming they were all adults.
So,
Yeah, he didn't kill any kids.
Yeah.
well,
Like
either way,
a minor house. Like,
Yeah.
I still think though that, like, for example, if Mossam did something that he didn't like, I could
I
totally
don't-
see him trying to take him out.
I don't think he'd kill Moss. I think he figures out how much Daphne loves him.
Yeah.
Well, I agree, but anything can happen in this game. You know how it goes.
I mean, no, like Varys is definitely a stone cold killer.
Yeah. So.
Um, but I think that he's cooled off a little bit and will be a little more judicious in who he stabs.
I foresee Amira and Varys stabbing each other, not to death, but I have a feeling they're going to duel each other at some
It's a
point.
friendly stabbing.
It's a friendly little duel, you know. With
it's
two
okay.
friends.
It was only one of your kidneys I stabbed.
Yeah.
I was actually really scared on Zoshiro's proposal scene,
Mm.
where Varys busts in and is like, oh, they now look at each other as rivals. I'm like, oh shit, they're both really good fighters.
Yeah, they are.
As
That
if
was
she
a
was
fun
just
scene.
like, what's the problem? I don't understand.
So,
We worked it out.
so Eloise.
Yes, me.
Yes. Second question. Knowing she's of Cardis now, is there going to be some distrust knowing that House Cheshire didn't try to save her house when House Carroll attacked?
So no one in the house currently is directly responsible for that. They're all dead. Literally everyone who's responsible for her hurt within House Cheshire is dead. I granted her and Daphne have had some static over the whole Amir murdered my mom thing, but that's understandable static. Yeah, so she does has definitely lost love for her family, like her direct family, like dad and sisters, and because she presumes that if at least Adelaide had a sniff, a hint that this had happened, and just never told her. And then with her backstory of working with Adelaide to infiltrate the guild, and yes, I sent my half sister off who didn't know what half she was. So yeah, she's not a huge fan of the old guard of Cheshire, but no, she loves her family still. Both sides of it.
And that's kind of like with Archibald. Like, one thing you guys need to know about Archibald is that he loves the family. He just loves it in a very different way. He doesn't love the house. So, for example, let's say House Cheshire went into money problems. He's not bailing you out. But
I mean, we had money problems and you didn't.
Exactly.
Well, you kind of did. You helped out on the razzia.
Well, that's because I needed that too. That was on my benefit. But what I'm trying to say is that was a self-interest thing. But what I'm trying to say is for example, the razzia is a good example. Daphne and the only people he kind of really cares about is his intermediate family. Even people like Khan Key and all the advisors, he cares about them, but he wouldn't necessarily give up his own life for him. Now, Eloise and Daphne, obviously, they're legit family.
What about Amelis? What about
100%.
Amelis? Ah,
No.
because he served you and your brother. He's one of the longest serving advisors to House Cheshire. So I was kind of curious.
Oh shit!
Oh,
He's also the
I
guy
didn't know
who's
that.
probably just steal the baby.
Yeah,
He
so
was.
I didn't think
Mhm.
about that. Amelis might die.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Depends on the conversation that Eloise has with him, guys.
Yep.
He might be dead. Yeah, we might kill him else.
Yeah, no, when Pardo got stabbed, I was like, great. We basically don't have a Mentat now. Because I was thinking about that. I'm like, Melis is still shady as shit. We might not have
But
anybody loyal, but also, like you said, he might have been involved with just steal a baby.
Oh no, Omelis is 100% into some shady shit. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's like the question is like, how badly will the house need a mentat, and how much can Omelis be reined in?
well, that's
And
kind of like,
also like who might want revenge, because like, so if Omelis was involved in stealing Eloise, then he is the person that she could kill as like her revenge thing.
100%.
How dare you, Betty?
Did Betty summon the elder gods? Or something?
No, I think Eloise is just slowly going to kill everyone.
So, and that was a very big like torn between them, because like the thing is with Omelis too is like Archibald's not stupid. He knows Omelis is into some shit. So like when Omelis asked him, are you gonna trust me or Yeva? And I'm like, honestly, I don't think I could trust either of you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh Lord, that was nuts. All right, Ambrose, you're next.
All right, here we go.
What does Zoshir think about the Atreides, and what do you think? And do you think they will be allies? Obviously, the second question's easy, but first,
I think it's a bit too early to tell. I don't. If I recall correctly, he really.
Ambrose, I'm going to make it happen.
You heard it here first, folks.
with babies or without babies.
No, because Duke Leto is an ally. Duke Leto, meet my Fremen husband.
Yeah, good point.
You two should be friends. Here's also the other Naib that I saved from a dungeon. You two should also be friends.
Oh,
By
we
the
already know each other. Oh.
Also, the ring that Archibald gave you is going to get you into a lot with the Atreides, like metagaming. So, yeah.
Well then, I guess we'll. Damn silencing spell.
Got it.
Looking for questions. Did you have a question?
Who, me?
Oh no,
I
I was just
know-
waiting on your answer, Ambrose.
Oh,
If Daphne says they're okay, he'll probably be like, yeah, okay, I guess so.
So it's 100% going to happen. All right.
Honestly, if
Go on.
Daphne is like really honest about her house, she'd be like, yeah, they're actually probably more honorable than us.
You're not
For
wrong.
sure.
They're 100%
Our house
more
is
honorable.
full of like we're a very powerful house, but it's full of straight killers. Like
Oh,
there are murder machines within our house.
100%.
Session 1.1, 0.1. We decided House Cheshire was going to be ornithopters and intrigue.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of bummed I wasn't there for that one, but it is what it is.
Yeah, every house you pick like a primary and secondary focus, and there's like, we're just gonna make ornithopters because everybody uses ornithopters, and you'll throw in some espionage in there just for fun.
Good point. All right,
Uh,
go on.
I did. There was a joke question from Treya earlier that I'm actually curious about the answer. How many episodes was the Razia imminent?
Yeah, that is a good question.
That is a very good question, actually. I want to say I introduced the concept of the Razia around episode 8 or something like that. So it's been there for a while, just percolating. The Archon is taking spice off of Arrakis. It happens.
Around 10 derailments later, we got
He
there.
had some personal issues to resolve.
Many personal issues, yes. Many subplots.
Oh,
Like
100%.
90 pages worth of them.
Jesus Christ.
Archibald. So
Yes.
Archibald has a plan, huh? Why don't you lay out all of the plans that you had in mind, how they went wrong, and what plans you have going into the future?
Wow. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start at the beginning with Alicia. That's the elephant in the room right now.
Yes.
So originally I was gonna take a shot at House Cheshire with Yeva, okay? Because the thing is, what I was gonna do, I was gonna say, Alicia, I want you to kill Daphne, basically. Okay? Then in turn I'd get the house.
You're on knees?
I wanted the house at first.
Don't be too surprised. You know, originally I wasn't sure if Leo was going to be able to join us for season 3, and I'm like, well, he's got a good character with Archibald. I think I'm gonna make him the villain for season 3.
Yeah.
And I already had like plans. Like, okay, he could do this.
Yep. That's why I
But
was like, when he was like steering me towards the Harkonnens, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's setting me up for a villain arc. And then I just ended up not going that way.
Okay, but
So-
why though? What made you change your mind?
Honestly, because I knew how big House Cheshire is going to be in the future. So if I would have been set up with the Harkonnens to a certain extent, but I also know later on in the story that House Cheshire was going to become a major powerhouse. And then that was around the time where I got the idea, two-pile. What happens if someone united it? And then Eric sent me a GIF.
Sent you a gift? Which one was it? Oh,
It was
the evil.
Yeah, it was the girl with the evil laugh going.
Very good.
Sorry, I'm being a little quiet. My wife's in the room as well, so I'm kind of yelling into the mic. But
No worries.
yeah, so basically what happened with Alicia is I was going to have Alicia kill Daphne. I would then take House Cheshire. All right. I was going to get with House Harkonnen. But the thing is Yeva decided to be kind of a little biatch and be like, yeah, I'm going to piss off the entirety of House Cheshire. And I'm like, no, please stop doing that.
Stop pissing people off, Yeva. It's impossible.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have a target on my back if this keeps going how it goes. So I was like, okay. When I went to the Atreides, I was like, okay, I need some not an alibi, but like some leverage here. So I was like, okay, if I join the secret Atreides cult, Atreides and House Cheshire are buddy right now. So I'm like, okay, I got a little bit of illusion that I'm with them, and I guess in this circumstances I am. Okay. Now, it pissed off Yeva, but on the other hand, Archibald's like, you've already ruined all of my plans, right? For what we like, blah, go away. So, and then that Hayliner got hijacked. And that's, like I said, I think that episode is when I got the idea for the whole two-pine thing. Like, I think that, you remember that? We were having that conversation.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, because I didn't get to actually talk to Alicia until like the very end, to like mid-season. I didn't actually get to talk to Alicia because
Yeah.
you
Since Ilaxu one who's
Yeah.
facilitating the request.
So I was really thinking, I'm like, God damn, I saved Alicia. I don't know what my other plans were completely shot out of the water because of fucking Eva. So I was like, okay, I can salvage this. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I got caught, I knew exactly what I was going to do. And that is what I did. I was going to own up to it and say, hey, I had this opportunity to maybe take some of that shit off your plate in terms of because of Cardis. Obviously, he knew Ahav Cardis was still alive. So he's like, Alicia's one of the best assassins in the galaxy. So I was like, okay, if I have them kill Gregor, plausible deniability. So he could go, they can commit heresy on me and be like, hey, check my brain. I didn't want to kill you, Daphne, because I wanted to kill them. You know what I mean? Now, if and to be honest with you, if Daphne's mean streak was still here, I probably would have gotten away with it too. But it weren't for the meddling kids. You know?
I was hoping you'd say that.
That baby sandworm too.
Yep, that too, and a note. So, all right. Then after that, yeah. So we got basically. I think that episode, Eric might have wrote in the children of Tupile, and that's kind of like where that seed was 100% planted. I was like, okay, I'm going to Tupile. This is gonna be amazing. So once that got done, we went back. Fun fact, I honestly did not know that you were going to kill off the leader of the hijacking team.
Oh, Reese? Oh,
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to kill him.
He was
off.
another loose end for Varys. It's like, I don't need you alive anymore. You did everything I wanted. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Varys
right.
So
was
many people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's the
like,
man with the bandaged face.
Right.
Oh, I knew. So then, like, on top of that, once I got to Arrakis, shit, I'm drawing a blank. What happened with Arrakis with me? Razia.
Razia, you made a deal with or you were in the process of making a deal with the smugglers. Then the Razia happened.
Yep.
And you had to cut and run to Tupile after setting up contact with the Rogue Navigator and his people.
So and then I met basically Eloise. So here's the thing. There were a couple things I wasn't expecting with the whole deal with Eloise. One, I was not expecting her to join me on my crusade. She 100% did. I was like, yes, gamble paid off, because here's the thing. I was not expecting to give away my house, but I was like, if I give away my house to Eloise, there's a chance, slim chance, that she'd be like, fuck this place. I want to fuck everything up. Just like Archibald does. So that kind of happened, and everything kind of fell into place there. I'm like, gamble that paid off. Hell yes.
Yeah, I think everybody agreed that when you were the first one, when you got to Daphne first, that one episode, and you explained what was going on, that saved your ass.
Oh, 100%.
Really did.
100%. Because I was actually, before that, my plan, I was talking to Eric. I'm like, I can go a true villain arc right now and just get with the Smugglers Guild, be like, hey, with the Razia, 50-50, we go. We take it all, kill them all, do what we got to do, take all the spice, split it 50-50. Gonna be honest with you, that did cross my mind. But then I was like, Tupa's gonna need strong enemies within the Lounge Rod for it to thrive, at least. So that may not be a great idea.
You would have also had to kill Drunken Idaho and Stilgar and Johnny.
Yep. And I would have pissed off the Fremen. So it was like, that probably wouldn't have been a good idea. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to do my original plan.
Yeah, I was expecting you to like tell the smugglers like, here, I'll give you advanced knowledge of where the spice is, and you cut me in on the ground floor and fuck all these people. I was expecting that to happen at some point. Like, oh shit, how's that gonna go down?
I was legit thinking about it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You know
But
what
then-
would have happened, right? You know what would have happened to those smugglers?
They would have
They'd
died.
have cut you out of the deal.
Yeah, they would have.
No, I mean like they would have gotten slaughtered by the fucking starter car because
Oh,
remember
100%.
there was a trap. As soon as they showed up, it's like, oh look who's here! Stab.
And if I did do that, I could have been like, I was testing them to see if it was a trap.
Oh sure.
Oh, hey, look,
Well,
guys.
while I have you on
I
the hot seat. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Devin.
was gonna say, oh, hey, look, guys, I found out all this information for you. Totally offhand.
Yeah, exactly.
Quick question for Archibald. Now that he's on Tupao and he's discovered what he's discovered, would he be willing to sacrifice his humanity in order to achieve total success?
Oh, that's a hard one. Define humanity.
I'm not gonna define humanity.
Damn it.
I need you to answer the
my
question.
name is Archibald.
I don't want to be a robot. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
But what about being a Titan?
That's now that one. Here's the thing.
Just-
I looked up what the Titans were, and metagaming here. My brain in a giant vat of acid does
No,
sound appealing.
Not acid, preservation fluid.
Yeah,
You could
So-
live for 1,000 years.
yeah, and become a god.
Well, what if you like become a cyborg? Like now you've got this thinking machine interfacing with your own brain.
Hey, we do need a new Mentat, right?
Yeah, no.
Actual human thinking.
I'm sorry, but no. So here's the
Right.
thing. I don't want to become a cyborg. I do want
But
some sort of
total
humanity.
success. Total success, Archibald.
Yes, but you want to know what that's going to happen. So here's the thing, and I'm thinking what Eric is thinking is, and I'm right. I'm going to be the leader of the second jihad if he gets his way.
Is that what
And
you
I say I
want?
don't want. No, that is not what I want. So I will tell you what Archibald wants. Archibald wants a level playing field for everything. Okay. Right now, the Landsrod is 100% too big for its own britches. Okay. He wants to use Two-Pile to even the score between them. Okay. You know how two companies, if one company monopolizes something, it gets bigger and things become worse for employees, so on and so forth. But if there's two companies, they'll start stealing employees and be like, hey, we'll pay you more over here, blah, 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 you know? He wants the scales to be leveled in that term. So
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
that's why I brought the plan up for the Landsrod with Two-Pile, and it even kind of goes into, weaves into the second Arrakis that I want to make. Now, I don't plan on destroying Arrakis.
Oh well,
But-
that's good.
I do plan on changing it because I'm going to help Kynes terraform that mother, and I'm going to make sure that and I'm going to see if I can make it to where they can't produce spice. So when that happens, I'll be the one with all the spice, and the scales will be somewhat leveled.
Oh, good luck, buddy.
So many
Yeah, I know.
things. Yeah.
The scales
how the
will
turns
not
have tabled.
be level. They will be in your favor.
Yes.
See, the leveling of the scales is more Kyra's whole plan of screw the guild, screw the Bene Gesserit, screw the Lancerod. Everyone's screwed.
Oh, 100%.
That's the level playing field one. Yours is, I want the I win button.
I want to have the entire Imperium by the short hairs. Is Archibald's plan ultimately?
And to be honest, you're not wrong on that one, but he's also thinking in his mind too, like, You fuckers kept me in prison for 10 goddamn years. And it's not just the Cheshires. Like, the Lansrod could have came in and been like, and the thing is it wasn't, he didn't even do the crime he committed. So the Lansrod could have like had some sort of investigation done, so on and
They
so forth.
did.
So
Mm-hmm.
obviously not, because
No, they
Akardis
did.
was
Yeah.
yeah, they did, but it was 100% wrong, and someone didn't know what the
It
fuck
was
they
the
were doing.
face dancer dressed up as you on camera sabotaging an ornithopter. Case closed.
Exactly my
Oh,
point. They didn't put
darn.
any work into it. They
I
wanted me to go to
totally
jail.
forgot to write that part in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You're saying that it wasn't enough work done, but face dancer doing the job with your face and you didn't have a good alibi beyond that, yeah, that was case closed, like cut and dry. Like, according to every single book in the universe, that is the easiest thing in the world to say, because you didn't have an alibi, you were on camera, and we saw you do it
Okay.
on camera.
So Devin, here's the thing. That's kind of stereotyping in a way, because that is like telling a person that walks beside a jewelry store because they're on camera and they walk by that jewelry store that so happened to get robbed.
Wasn't that though? You were caught
That's literally the
doing
same
it.
thing.
You were caught
No, it's more
sabotaging
like
it.
someone wears your face as a suit and is caught on camera robbing the jewelry store.
And then they ask, "Where were you?" And you say, "I was home alone." Do you have any corroborating witnesses? No.
I was just on my way to the jewelry store, actually.
Yeah, your entire setup is, I had no alibi, and you have all this mountain of evidence against me. I swear I didn't do it. Pinky swear. Does that not get me anywhere?
So first of all, I think Archibald would be smart enough to be like, "Hey, that's not right," and give him a legit excuse. That's the thing. I'm sorry, he's not that dumb.
No, he's not. But the thing is that the Avcardis were doing this on the sly. Like you didn't know that they had a face dancer up their sleeve. You didn't know that they were plotting on pitting you, or they had pitted you against the Carols in such a way. So of course you had no way of knowing that. No one did. That's why things spiraled out of control the way that they did.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't feel too bad about it.
So, Eric,
they're exceptionally crafty.
So, Eric, going back to that last question, would I sacrifice my humanity?
Yes.
No, I don't think I would.
Okay, I'll make sure to note that.
But I definitely want. I'm going to be honest with you. I definitely want to go through the ringer, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. See, if it feels like I'm putting any one of your characters through the proverbial ringer, it's because I really like your character. So, get ready for more.
Oh.
Because we all suffered.
Oh yeah, there was
Exactly.
like two.
Oh no!
Oh no,
Oh,
it
no!
finally happened.
Oh, I thought I had frozen for a second. I was
No,
like,
she warned us
Yes.
this would happen. LA is getting like
Oh.
our 3 days of bad weather we get a year right now.
Yeah.
Oh, did she disconnect?
Sadness.
When she
Yeah.
comes
Well.
back again, we'll have to pick up that question.
Alright,
again.
well, so on that note, we've been doing this for an hour and a half. Do we just want to take a real quick break right now?
Sure.
Step away from the
Sounds
computer
good.
and like get some water and okay.
Sounds good.
In that case,
We shall be right back.
we'll see you in 10 minutes. Chat, if you have more questions, queue them up. And we will see you all in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And there she goes.
welcome back. We just returned from break. We got some more questions in the chat.
Not in the chat, but I do have a question for everyone else.
Mhm.
What did you think, or like, how do you think your character's arc went? Like, how would you define it?
Got it. Give me a couple minutes on that one.
I think mine went in a wonderfully curveball direction because I didn't die multiple times.
I'm fully expecting to bite it this time, huh?
Oh, this entire time, Norma's been riding by the skin of her teeth. Like, 4 Bene Gesserits sent to murder her, and somehow comes out swimming like, or smelling like roses, and not only that, gets to play dead so that the Sisterhood doesn't realize that she's still alive and kicking. Goes into a Harkonnen dungeon twice and still didn't get much as a scratch the entire time. And then I got to play the Harkonnens against the Bene Gesserit. I mean, Norma's like, my life really is just perfect. Aside from, everything that goes horribly wrong, I'm walking with 4-leaf clovers in my pocket.
So,
all right.
for me, the beginning was not going as I planned. Gonna be honest with you. But as time moved on, especially the end, I made a gamble. It went through. Granted, she may not be completely on my side, but like, she's at least has the same ambition as me in terms of the guild. We have the same thing. Okay. And I got the 2 pile. So at the end, great.
You made a deal with Kynes, which is
That too.
that's something sparked her interest, certainly.
100%. Which I do like. That was another thing about the whole Kynes thing. I was wondering what would happen if Kynes was successful about changing Arrakis. So I was like, let's make that happen.
It's bad for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially those in caves.
You mean the Fremen? So, okay,
Yeah.
here's another question.
But I'm saying that because
Well, no. I want my question to percolate through everybody.
Okay.
So I think Alois was all over the place. It was a very much like the like an earthquake chart.
Lots of highs and lows.
Yes, lots of highs and lots of lows for Alois. And the highest high was thinking she stuck it to the Harkonnens real good. And then the low right after that, like, no, you're kicked out of the guild, honey. You tried to frame the Harkonnens.
Damn, bros.
Would you mind repeating the question for me, please?
Just how would you describe your character's arc this season?
Oh, wow. Cinderella arc.
How so?
Nobody to Fremen princess.
Well, so, alright, I guess a better question is, you're taught in like 8th grade language arts, the main character is the character who changes the most. And of course, because this is an RPG, we're all the main character. So how did your character change?
I think that at first Zoshir was just about doing the day-to-day, just focusing on, did he get through the day? Good. Did he piss off anybody? No. Good. Or maybe boo. Bad. Depending on the day. To suddenly caring about the entire planet and all the people in it, on it, around it. Yeah. So I'd say that's pretty huge.
Alright, so follow-up question.
Oh God.
When as a player did you decide to propose?
Actually, in that moment.
Okay.
I love those.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, it just came to me. I'm like, oh, that could possibly keep Daphne from dying if that's a thing. So yeah, it was very much in that moment of,
It seemed very well planned.
You want to make turn for it?
No.
Yeah. Same.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. I did not go into that session going, let's marry Zoshir to Daphne.
We've
A
always
great
had
scene.
good chemistry on that front, though.
Grimmy.
Alright, I'm throwing the altered question back to everybody. Like, how did your character change?
Well, I got shorter.
Eloise went from being like completely closed off from her feelings to like way too in touch with them. The bad ones mostly.
Yeah.
You're up, Devin.
Well, Norma is definitely feeling like her life is a little clandestine after things have gone on, even though things have gone poorly. They've still gone really well for her. I mean, like I said, 4 Bene Gesserits sent to murder her, and somehow she comes out smelling like roses, even has a backup plan for getting out. Her house that she was charged with, that she grew to appreciate. Oh, look, there's the Quatsit's Hederic. And there's a good relationship between the two of us already. Well, I say good. That's, you know, we'll put a little bit of a air quotes on good. But I mean,
Seriously, babe.
familial type relationship. Everything has been going so nicely for her. She's kind of like, I think she's getting a little arrogant, ballsy, get some hubris going on in her life.
Who, Yeva?
No, Norma.
No, Norma.
At least as far as when she's out doing things, she still knows I don't want to incite the wrath of the Bene Gesserits, so I'm still going to remain hidden. But my life is, I'm walking on roses, or walking on 4-leaf clovers. I don't know what, but she thinks everything's going way too well, and she's starting to get used to it.
Oh, 100%.
Don't worry, pride always comes before the fall.
How
So-
did Archibald change? Well, I guess we already went over that, where he's like started with murder in his heart and then backed off.
Oh, 100%. So, yeah, with that thing as well, like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I legit wanted to kill Daphne at first, but then I think after, like, the whole the hijacking, when he had to kind of choose whether to take vengeance or survive, that was kind of like okay, like I really need to rethink this escapade I'm taking with Yeva. It's probably not the best course of action.
It was the crucible moment, huh? Okay.
100%.
Excellent.
We're gonna need to. Oh well, it's kind of impossible now, but we should have gotten your character to Sahaya Tabir.
Wait, what?
Oh, to the seats
Yeah.
where people change. Did they do the 180? Yeah.
Yes.
So
maybe
I'm,
maybe a bit later. Eventually there.
so I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I didn't really have anything to do with the Fremen in this season, which I was kind of surprised, but I was kind of like not really in. I guess I was more with Kynes than anything when it comes to that, because what I had planned,
Yeah.
what the plans were with that. So
I mean, I think
some significant interactions.
Eloise was kind of in the same boat. I think her only interactions were with the Tiberi,
yeah.
as far as Fremen were concerned.
So, I really liked in the scene between Archibald and Kynes, where Archibald was like, "Oh yeah, my family has all these connections to the Fremen," and Kynes is like, "I don't fucking know about that. Those are the only Fremen I know." And I'm like, "I've seen the movie, lady."
I'm gonna be honest with you. You were like telling me, and I'm like, okay, I will, and I did, and I'm like, okay, that was not the reaction that I wanted to get, but okay. I was like, I shouldn't have even asked, to be honest with you.
No, because in the movie, like, she admits that she's Fremen when she's
100%.
summoning a sandworm, but it's just something that she sort of kept on the down low.
Yeah.
Well, I also kind of find it. I guess this is going to be something between Archie and Kynes. I think there's going to be a little bit of a religious undertones there, because Archibald is truly curious about why she worships the worms. And granted, I've read the books on Kyne. I haven't seen the movie, but she's a very analytical and a very curious person as well. And I do feel like if I play my cards right, she'll get kind of interested in, because next season I do plan on kind of going very heavy into the Nordic ways in terms of their religion. I think it's called pagan. Am I right?
Oh, you plan in an Erica game.
Yeah, true. Good point. But I'm gonna try to go kind of into that, in terms, and like, because that's kind of like how Archibald, because this is kind of like his background story a little bit. I haven't told Eric about this, but I always thought he was like this kind of like this historian, and he always kind of went back deep into even like into the old world shit, and he thought what would make sense to him. I guess this is Jared kind of coming out as well, because I'm kind of like that as well. For him, it's like when he found out this religion, I'm like, okay, that makes a lot more sense than the Orange Catholic Bible. This is freaking stupid. So he was like, I'm gonna start doing this because this honestly makes more sense. And then on top of that, I even thought about saying, hey, can I put in a trait that that Archibald knows a little bit of Icelandic and he taught his Varangian guard, and that could be like their communication in case people don't want to know and shit.
Your battle
make
code.
That
Yep.
Yeah, you can make that the House Liberius's battle code or something like that, because since House Cheshire has their own like little eye thing going on, how they communicate with one another. That's fair.
I mean,
Okay.
that'd be really
Sweet.
cool. Because you know the history of the Varangian Guard, right?
Yeah, they were bodyguards.
They were Vikings. They were
Viking
Vikings
bodyguards
who served the Roman Emperor.
Yep. That's where I kind of got the idea from. So, yeah, I was really kind of like being like, okay, I could play this right a little bit and kind of be like this. Okay, she could be curious about my religion, and I could be curious about her religion. Maybe we have some common ground there, you know? So, because I do have a plan on top of that, it'd be a really wise move for me if I do knock her up.
Jesus Christ!
Then I have, like you said,
Plans
leverage on
within
Arrakis.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, I guess they gender flipped her in the movie, so.
Yeah. And I'm also thinking about, because the way I want to do my second Arrakis is I only want Fremen on there. So get in with Kynes.
Well,
I could probably
okay,
get some.
But Arrakis is already their home. Why should they have to leave?
Oh, I'm not saying they have to leave. I'm just saying, like, you want to escape the persecution of all the houses that are trying to get to your spice? You can worship all the worms you want over on the second planet with no repercussions, no nothing. Now make sure of it.
Until the worms start generating spice and people decide they want it.
That's why it's going to be Fremen only, and it's going to be ran by a Fremen house.
Oh shit!
That's kind of
Okay.
that's kind of Daphne's plan.
Okay.
Where
Yeah.
we're going to put the Fremen. They're gonna hate this, but we're gonna make sure that there are Fremen voices in the Landsrod, and that the governor of
Yep.
Arrakis is Fremen, even if that's her children.
I,
Hopefully,
Mhm.
that's her children.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of bloodshed in Alansarad when arguments ensue
Oh,
with
100%.
Fremen politicians.
Here's the new Cheshire heir, born with blue on blue eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Let's see where you're going.
we're
with
not
that.
going to let the Bene Gesserits know they're abominations.
We're not letting anyone know that.
No.
The only reason why I was like, get them all out of the room. We're not talking about this with other people.
So I do want to say this though. Archibald does have some sort of feelings for. I want you to know that's not misplaced. Okay, just happens like she's a Fremen and she's on Arrakis, and yeah.
Sure. I had some more mundane questions, like which for all players, which game mechanic segment did you enjoy the most, and which one did you enjoy the least? And when I mean that, I mean like warfare, skirmish, duels, that sort of stuff. Like which one you found intuitive or unintuitive or what have you?
There's no mechanic that I think is bad. I think the 2D20 system is really well designed. I really like it. My personal favorite was Prana Bindu because it saved my ass so many times.
Yes. Great.
On a binge redo.
Nice.
Nice.
So for me, it was definitely okay. So I do have a con and a, but it's also a little bit from my own stupidity as well. But like the warfare part at the last end, I didn't really understand it right away. So I was like, okay, what the fuck am I doing? Blah 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 blah. I felt like I was getting kind of like you were getting annoyed a little bit. So I was like, okay.
Right.
But then halfway through, I was like, okay, I get it now.
It's slightly different than skirmish rules, so I
Yeah.
completely understand not being like,
'Cause
wait a minute, that doesn't work like that. Yeah.
Because I was thinking it was like at the end of season 2, where I was actually in the fight and shit, you know? That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay. But
yeah.
my favorite, honestly, had to been using the mechanic bold. Just having something to re-roll is so fucking nice. Before I had that, it was the worst freaking thing ever. Because I see everyone, oh yeah, I got this ability, I can re-roll it. And I'm like, I don't have that. I need to get that.
Yes.
My favorite of the mechanics from talents was nimble, letting me always roll my move subtle with DC 2 lower. So basically it's let me generate some momentum, guys.
Pretty much, yeah.
I get Prana Bindu, so I get to re-roll stuff, and I get to make this work. Let's go, guys. I'm generating some momentum for everybody. Let's use it.
Yeah, very useful talent to have.
So, I do have a couple more questions I would like to ask real quick. I got a whole list.
One more mechanic before you go. Determination, the determined talent. Oh yeah, didn't
Finally
use that
figured out
nearly enough.
determination this season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but determination, like I thought that was initially just, use it and then it was gone until you got it back. When you said that it was per episode, I was like, oh shit. I can abuse this so hard now.
And if you've got the loyalty thing, it's super easy to justify.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
with a determined talent too, as a Bene Gesserit with like 7 as my discipline, so it's like a 35% chance you're going to get your determination back.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of like the thing with Duncan Idaho, with that one ability where you can
Yeah.
Mhm.
trade in threat for another determination point. I'm like, that's OP. That was awesome. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this is my first playing 2D20 actually was this season. So threat in general, I enjoyed the fuck out of, which I'm pretty sure I gave Eric a lot of threats this
Same.
season.
Lot.
A lot.
Nobody gave threat
had a
like
few misgivings
he,
about
though
threat
in
initially,
season
but-
2.
He's still the high score. He
Oh,
has the high
yeah.
score of 30 threat that he afforded me during the game. It's insane.
And wasn't that like mostly during just that one scene where he's like, okay,
Yes, he was trying to decrypt the Talilaxu code, and he broke it. He
Mhm.
actually broke the code for their secret messages that they were sending to like William and them, and it almost gave him an aneurysm. Like his mentat was having to do what's called like third tier computations in his mind, and in the lore, mentats who go there, there's a chance that they don't come back. Like they just become vegetables because they've gone too far. Their mind has just been fried as a result, and he survived it. So like he came there and he went there and came back and
I
cracked the
think
code, which was like exceptional.
I think the best way to describe it is less that they don't come back and we're just get locked in.
They get locked in their own head. Yeah,
Yeah.
better way to put it.
But
Cool.
oh yeah, he burned so much that day just to get that. It
Yeah,
was
I have to change
amazing.
my answer. That Duncan Idaho ability, that was a cool ass ability. The
It
one
really
where
is.
like,
It's
yeah,
really
you
useful.
just trade in threat for another determination point, and you can do that every turn. Yeah, that's I gotta change my answer on that one. Anyways, Zoshir, go on.
I have no complaints about any of the mechanics, but I really love my Chris Knife abilities.
Yeah,
Those are
Chris-
fun.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about those. Those were nice.
Yeah,
The I
so
win button, the other one.
Daphne has one that Zoshia gave her, so we might have to do like a prologue scene, cause like I want to play
Oh.
that out with you.
Yeah, there's a thing I need to do as well that Eric was not able to get to last. So there's gonna be prologue
Oh.
thing with me as well.
Which one is this?
For me,
Yeah.
paying off the
Oh,
Talaxi.
Paying off your bribe.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
loan.
yes.
my loan.
I didn't finish that scene. That was one that I was like working up to, and then like I didn't get to finish it.
Yep.
But yeah, there
you're
was
good.
supposed to be one last interaction with your little dwarf friend.
Yep.
I mean, like mostly it was just because Ambrose couldn't make the finale, and so we're just sort of like, Daphne and Zoshir probably have this interaction, but I would want to play it out with Ambrose in person.
I
That's
can't
right.
imagine. I can't imagine how long we would have gone if Ambrose were here too.
Yeah. We already went 4 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, I expected that.
Hey,
I
no,
did too.
I'm not complaining. I'm just
Me neither.
just amused me.
Just based on how season 2 ended, I'm like, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I planned, budgeted.
So, but yeah. Anyways,
My last question to all of you: what was your favorite moment or reveal from the season? We'll start with Rachel.
So, I kind of spoiled myself a little bit. Because, like, I kept on figuring shit out as the player.
Yes.
And then, like, Eric, like, made a mistake. We're, like, rolling for Alicia in a place where we could all see it. I'm like, oh, fuck, what is she doing here?
That was my bad. That was my bad. I forgot to whisper that roll on the character sheet.
yeah, I saw it too, and I was like, God damn it,
Oh.
Eric.
Well, and that was the key to sort of figuring out that Varys was of Cardis, from an out of character perspective. Although, like,
Yeah.
weirdly, I
You
had
knew.
suspicions already.
Oh
You
yeah,
knew
we
a
had
long
that
time
was
before
Fuck,
that was
I-
a whole day of theory crafting we were doing in Dune chat. Our
Yep.
Even before that, I had suspicions, and like, I actually had this whole thing, like, cause like I'll be doing dishes or like walking to my garden or whatever, and like, come up with lines in my head that I think will like be really cool to deliver. And one of them was, I peered so hard and so assiduously at Nikolai that I stole every secret from him before he knew what I had done. And I did not
Nice.
do that with Varys because I think I already knew the answer. And I didn't want confirmation. I didn't ask questions
Oh,
because
you
I
didn't
didn't
want
want
to
to know the answers.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm looking back in their chat because Queen, you were going back. I think it was like end of January that you were like, he's definitely 100%, he's off Cardis for Varys.
Okay.
All
Well,
right,
but
so
no,
we
like
got
he was really nice to Daphne, and like they had chemistry, and
yeah.
yeah. So that was my favoritist reveal.
So we actually have a question from Drea in the chat.
Yeah.
What was your favorite ship that came up with or otherwise?
The
That
character shipping.
chat came up with or otherwise.
I think we all know the answer to this one, but
Oh yeah.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
mine is my cool little triad, but also like I don't want to be the only person to answer that question. You're all still on the hook for that question for Eric's question.
So serious.
So serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay,
so serious.
Look,
Are we
I
done with
like-
triad?
Oh
with
yeah,
arms?
Tiberius.
I mean, so look, every pretty as a queer person, almost every sci-fi series is written by straight white men. So we're all just yelling "make it gay" at the books all the time. So of course it's gonna be Zoshirius for me.
I liked it with the
Freya, goddamn it. God fucking damn it.
Oh my god, I just got that.
I enjoyed the Pardo as Tiberius with wow, my brain just died. Who is the Bene Gesserit that
Mock turtle.
Mock Turtle?
That
Yes.
was
Yeah,
real
that was a good
sweet.
one.
That was a
Yeah.
real sweet ship.
Yeah.
It was. That's probably my favorite as well. So
And once again, how do you turn a Bene Gesserit away from the sisterhood? Love.
love.
I mean, love can break any conditioning.
So
Favorite part. It's tough. There's a lot of good ones. Don't wait for me if someone else has a favorite moment they know already.
Or favorite reveal.
Favorite reveal,
oh,
yeah.
favorite reveal. Okay, I forgot about that.
Favorite reveal for me was when Eric's like, BT Dubs, you're Harkonnen. That was so good.
Okay, I'm this is gonna seem like a little bit of a cop out, but I kind of have two. When I met the
fine.
Baron, it was terrifying and exciting at the same time when I met the Baron. It was amazing. Because you really like put yourself with that voice. I was
thank you.
legitimately scared. Anyways, and then at the end when I met the Titans, that was really fucking cool too.
Oh yeah.
The Allfather.
I loved the Titans aren't Greek this time. Now they're Norse.
Yep.
First thought in my head when you said that was, oh god, who's Loki?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, there's a whole bunch of gods he can choose from too. There's Thor, Loki, there's Freya, there's Odin. Like,
Yeah, that you
it's
can choose
ridiculous.
from. Like they haven't already been chosen.
Yep.
You met the top dog.
Yep. That's true. So, the way I kind of picture like the end result is him with robotic arms, human torso, and legs, and maybe like, I don't know, like a metal something on his face.
Well, hey, you
Yeah.
can get a metal spine.
That too. Become cyberpunk up this bitch.
Oh shit.
Cyberpunk.
The Allfather.
I don't need to grow a spine. I built one.
From one cyberpunk game right into the next.
Yeah, right.
That is the Allfather. Oh god. Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with my first decision, the off cardist reveal for
Yeah, that's
Elois.
pretty good. I like that
Yeah,
one.
I had a like sneaking suspicion that was the case. I had no evidence for it though. Like for behind the scenes for chat, I will often make wild predictions that I have no basis in reality. It is very common I do that. This one happened to just pan out.
I also think we also give Eric the ammunition too, because he'll go in that chat and be like, "That's a good idea."
Ambrose
back.
asked earlier in chat, like, is Eric taking notes right now? And I'm like, you know he is probably.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make that a question then. How many ideas have we given you with our weird little dysfunctions?
Many. Although to be honest, a lot of you figure out stuff that I had already had in preparation, and I just have to like keep that poker face so I don't explode.
See, this is why I
Give it
like
away.
asking. That's why I like asking you these questions outside of the game happening, because you say keep that poker face, but then you sit there and you're like, no.
Yeah, sometimes I have admittedly not, I've been told I don't have a poker face, so
Okay,
I try to like play this down.
You had a very brilliant poker face in the scene between Daphne and Varys, where Daphne goes to him and is like, House of Cardis is after me and they're picking off everyone close to me, which means you might be next.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's right.
Oh no!
Sorry.
What was the scene that you registered something because of Eric's face? I remember you said something about that where you were like,
I want to
Eric
know the
made
answer
the
to this one.
Oh, it was when so the one that I'm thinking of is after last game, after the finale, was talking to Leo and was like, okay, well, if Two-Pile is Earth, the Butlerian Jihad was fought on Earth, which means there are still thinking machines on Earth, which means Archibald might bring them back to the Imperium, thereby fulfilling one of the visions that we've all had of thinking machines on Arrakis. And Eric was like, I need to leave.
Yes. So some of the visions are bullshit, and some of the visions are like, this is a legitimate thing that can happen. So, which is kind of like how prescience plays out a lot of times in these things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm gonna do my best to not cause the second Butlerian Jihad. Gonna be honest with you. I think it is possible, but it's very, very unlikely.
Well,
but I'm gonna try.
These are just not the pure AI. They're the machine and man merged ones, right?
Yeah.
So not as bad. Even spoilers for those who haven't read Dune. The other ones are out there in the universe still.
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
of heresy.
It's just like Dominic.
Well, okay, on what Eric said about visions, like, was there anything that we missed about Daphne and Nassim's shared vision about, like, the sandworm and the wolf and...
yeah. So early on, there was supposed to be like some correlation between like who the wolf was and who the person holding the rifle was. But remember how I told you that you short circuited things early on?
Uh-huh.
So the wolf was supposed to play a part in that second storyline. You'll see what the wolf is when we start season 4. It was supposed to be intended to happen, or for you to find out. Was dealing with those criminal factions on Arrakis, presumably
Okay.
after the Leviathan worm hunt. So yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I have some more questions.
Oh my!
I do. I actually have a lot. We've been talking for so long. I forgot who we left off with. Was it Devin that I did?
Pick your favorite question.
Sure. Okay. This one is actually for Eloise.
Oh.
Were you happy to know that Gregor was your brother?
Oh, if Aaron the player or Eloise?
Both. So both.
Aaron the player was stoked. I was like, this is going to make for some great drama. Because I loves me some drama. Eloise, of course, fucking not. Not at all. Now, sure, her tunes changed a little bit now
So-
that she kind of knows the truth behind the circumstances. So I mean, she has no direct family living any longer. So yeah, of course she's happy to have at least a brother surviving.
So that kind of goes into another question that I had as well. And both Daphne and you can answer this. Do you really think it was a good idea to let Varys go with Eloise to Jabberwock?
No. It's a terrible idea.
So, Daphne is not worried that Eloise is going to kill Varys anymore. Because first she made the bargain with Eloise of, I'll let Amira go if you let him go. And then, so I had this great mutually assured destruction all set up before I knew about Eloise's connection to the house, where I was going to draw up 2 indictments because I promised Eloise that he would face justice. So I'm like, okay, well, we're drawing up this indictment about how these people just sort of turned up dead. Surprisingly few witnesses. Hey, would this giant crate of spice help you feel better about that? But then I was also going to draw an indictment up against Amira, which like, oh hey, this random Navigator Guild agent killed a Fremen leader, and they seem real upset about that, so maybe we should make an example of her. Would this giant crate of spice make you feel better about that? And I was just gonna show Eloise both documents and be like, you want justice? We get justice. Or I could just file these at the very bottom of my to-do list, Eloise.
I think the danger here is that I think Drea right. If Varys finds out what Eloise is planning now, potentially Varys wants to end her. I think the other danger with Varys going with her is that she's gonna corrupt the fuck out of him.
I mean,
how could you corrupt him anymore, though? Like,
yeah,
hey, getting to sign on board to the Golden Path, like, hey, I promise Daphne will be fine in all this. You just have to, help me subjugate humanity.
I mean, he gets real cold when he's like, all right, this bullshit gotta be done.
Yep.
So I don't think it's gonna be a hard sell.
Ooh.
I can see it.
There's a few of us that sell is literally just, here's the plan, and wait, you're already packing your bags to go?
I mean, so was I ever supposed to pick up more than I did about, like, when you described, like, oh yeah, he gone real cold?
It was just these are all like little hints. These are all little hints that there's more to him than just what you see on the surface. Like when he tried to wow you with the holographic, things like the images of that whole planet. His incredibly good swordsmanship and everything like that. These are all little like crumbs that lead to the truth behind Varys. And I think you figured it out real early on. I had to like keep my mouth shut.
There was the one scene that I still have questions over when he's hanging out with Pardo's cat.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
I feel like there was stuff to be discovered there that we just missed.
No, not really. That was basically just because he's also from Jabberwock, as you all are, and House Cheshire. There was a very early throwaway line that, oh yeah, House Cheshire. What do they focus on? Oh, we train, we domesticate those jungle cats. And for anybody living on Jabberwock, it's like, oh, they know their way around those animals, and it wouldn't be, because they're everywhere. So for him to just be like, anybody else would have been like, oh shit, we're scared, but for him it's like it came naturally. He's just sitting there giving it scritches and what have you.
I get it.
Another side note for you, Eric.
I love that was brilliant. I'm sorry, Devin, continue.
It's okay. Remember when we were in the siege and I kept on asking for my read on Varys, and you kept on giving, and that one time he got 5 friggin' successes and just blew me out of the water. What would I have gotten?
What was it exactly that you were trying to determine? Like his intent at the moment, or like was he lying or anything like that?
Like I kept on asking if he was lying, but then you were saying, yeah, he definitely is doing this for love, but there's something else.
There was, yes. So there was this underlying facade that he was putting up, that he was like doing everything altruistically when obviously he had his own motives. So yeah, if you would have actually succeeded, you would have discovered that there was more to this guy, and that although his affections for Daphne were real, there was definitely some dark, dirty shit underneath the surface that was waiting for you to find. And if you would have, if that would have captured your attention, it would have been only a matter of time before you eventually figured him out before anybody else did.
Okay.
Who knows how that could have gone?
Well, I mean, we already had the feeling of what the fuck when he was like, he's faster than the witch.
Bene Gesserit trained his mother. Lady Yesenia was Bene Gesserit, and she was the one that Norma had exchanged letters with, and she got a snippy response when she was trying to warn her about, oh, House Carol has atomics, be careful, we need to be careful, and she was like, yeah, fuck off. But at the same time, unbeknownst to everybody else, she was like, get the boys off the planet, just in case what she's saying is true, and that's how they survived the battle over Jabberwock.
Yeah. So I helped.
You helped.
I helped. Hey, Daphne, I helped.
No, I was messaging Eric around the time, like, oh shit, she flirted with this guy like in season 2.
It was true what he was saying at the time, that he was taking with the moment he laid eyes on you when you were in the palace and Adeline was holding court at the time. So that much was genuine.
By the way, he looks much better in season 3 than he did in season 2. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because now he looks like Tom Cruise, whereas before
exactly, he looked like a
all
greasy mofo back in season 2. Like, it was bad.
Excuse me, he looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. Thank you very much.
Yes.
A greasy Benedict
There's
Cumberbatch.
nothing about Tom Cruise in him, because Tom Cruise is a squirrely little asshole. He's got some serious Doctor Strange stuff going on.
You're not wrong. All right. So there was one that I wanted to ask Azoshir. So, do you think the Harkonnens will find out about your heritage? And if so, how do you think they will use it for personal gain?
Oh, I'm sure they probably already know. To
I
some
think so, too.
extent.
I don't think they know anything about Zoshir.
No, I don't think so either. Zoshir's
Oh, yeah,
parentage
the
of some
version
people that
looks way
died in the
better.
desert.
What?
Oh, we're looking at the Eric showing everyone the old version of Varys.
Okay, maybe.
All right.
Yeah. Never mind.
In roll 20 or
Yeah, roll 20.
yeah, no. I remember the first thing that I was saying to you, Rachel, about it was he looks like Bendy Dick Cucumber Patch.
I mean, this guy's still attractive, but the other guys, like, I mean, this guy's like a 7. Varys is like a 9.
Let's say 6.
That's because you're not a straight woman.
Oh yeah.
Oh, who was the one that looks like Christoph Waltz? Is that Nikolai?
Nicholas.
Nikolai,
Yeah,
okay.
Nikolai.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm
Asshole.
so glad you didn't go that way, Daphne. I'm so glad.
I was deeply
Yeah.
worried that was going to be the person
Yeah, same
that
here.
Daphne was going to try to set Eloise up with.
When
It's
you
like, that dude's so
No.
dead.
Yeah, when you started with that, I was like, no, Norma does not approve.
So, when Daphne found out about the Samuta addiction, that was like, oh, nope, off the list. She never would have set Eloise up with him after, she just sort of did like the Bene Gesserit, like, soul stare. Like, who the fuck are you, motherfucker? And what I got back was, oh, he's really ambitious and wants to be Duke Cheshire. Like, that's what killed it, because she's like, oh, no, I already
Yeah.
have to deal with Yeva's bullshit. I do
Right.
not need another, half-trained, over-ambitious asshole in the house. So, marrying Eloise to him would be a really bad idea. Just because
I was waiting.
Yeva, super ambitious and like,
Yeah. Yeah, one of them legitimately cared for Daphne, and the other one just wanted to get into her pants and, like,
Yep.
then, run roughshod over the house and seek power for himself.
He really
glad I
had a
picked the
dumb
best
idea,
one.
though. Like, he had a dumb idea, though, because I want to take charge over this matriarchal house. Yeah, that wouldn't fly even if he did get married to you.
I mean,
He'd still be he'd be second hat.
but Eloise and Dugaledo is not off the table.
So given that what happened at the end of the season, I don't know how eligible of a bachelorette Eloise is anymore.
Oh, that's fair. Well, you're gonna need to produce an heir somehow, Eloise.
Specifically before your
Not
transformation.
necessarily.
I wonder how a third stage navigator would produce
I was
an
thinking
heir.
adoption, you sickos.
I don't
No,
Oh,
know.
that would be some kinky shit. Jesus.
I'm just thinking
Belanda.
about
Hentai.
Belanda.
true, but I'm just thinking about the fact of a third stage navigator having a child. What would come out? Like,
Probably an abomination, right? Some sort of like just a different a different version of abomination. Like I
yeah.
saw the universe in the womb. I'm sure I'll come out fine.
The universe was shown to me before I saw the first thing I ever saw.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It went before I was born, and then it went downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, House Cheshire answering the question, what if we made Children of Dune an even bigger shit show?
I'm so glad you're on board with this train of thought here.
Yeah.
Oh, so on board.
I do have to say, sorry, go ahead.
Paul, the reasons that Paul named his son Leto are the same reasons that Daphne is going to name her daughter Adelaide.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, what is your new child? The new name for your male child?
So, I was actually wanting to have this scene with Varys, but we just ran way out of time with the finale, and I was like, no, this scene is way too frivolous. It
Oh.
doesn't need to happen. Where she would have gone to him and told him, Federico is just not really a name. Is there a name that you would suggest that you want your son to be named? And I was pretty much expecting him to say Milos.
Oh shit, brother. Yeah,
So
because he wouldn't want to pick his father after everything he had learned about his family and how
Right, well,
they
and because she was
conditioned him
also
and everything.
gonna tell him, like, hey, I'm really sorry you lost your brother. Like, I'm not sorry this guy's dead, but I'm sorry you lost your brother.
Yeah.
So, probably Milos, because I'm just gonna fanfiction that scene happened, if that's okay with Eric.
So
I'm okay with playing that out at the beginning of next season. What do you mean?
Cool.
That's not with me.
so with that as well, like I also think it's kind of ironic that that you're having twins and then he's a twin himself. So I was like,
Yeah,
huh,
that happens.
did that
yeah.
unknowingly.
Mm-hmm.
And shit, I forgot the question I was going to ask. God damn it.
I mean,
No
twins
worries.
are heritable. Like, if I ever had kids, they would probably be twins. It's just in my family line.
Oh, 100%. I get it.
I think my favorite twins thing is two sets of twins got married and then they both had twins.
Well, and it's also like a little bit of the choices that I make when I play Daphne they're a little metagamey, informed by the story, and essentially like we're gonna steal all their narrative beats. Because Chani had twins.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Speaking of
But
Chani, go on.
the whole tone thing, by the way, was entirely dependent on what your decision was at Sihaya, because that's why I asked you. I was like, I need to know, because if you're taking the water of life and you spent the night with Varys, there's a very good chance that something's gonna happen here. It was very serendipitous in that way.
And my headcanon is just like Daphne was in this moment of loneliness and like counting up all the lost family members and was in
Makes
hopeless
sense.
mode. I'm like, I'm just making a impulsive decision.
It's fine. Perfectly normal.
So, Eric, I have a question for you now.
Yes.
In terms of two-pile, I want to know, are there legit houses in two-pile?
Yes. Because if you remember, that's a place where all of the exiles go from the Imperium. Typically, the only people who go there are houses of the Landsraad that have somehow broken the code. Right. So if they've done something egregious to the Great Convention or anything like that, or if they've broken the edicts of the Butlerian Jihad, that's where they're going. If it ends up what they did doesn't constitute the rest of the Imperium just like completely annihilating them or something to that effect, their prison sentence is going into exile on two-pile.
Okay.
So it's a lot of people will say, oh, it's a prison planet, it's a terrible wasteland, and other people will say, well, it's more like a gilded cage, you know.
That's what I was thinking too. But on the other hand, too,
it's like,
I was also thinking about it this way too, because you asked me earlier about my future plans with two-pile in general. Okay.
Yes.
So obviously we have the Titans. I did some research on the Titans themselves, They're basically brains and preservation fluid.
Yes.
All right. You could most likely control the Titans by getting those and threatening them. I
Conceivably,
don't
yeah.
feel like killing them is the good idea considering what they can do. All right.
So what's your question?
My question is, are those brains on old Earth?
You don't know. You'll have to play to find out.
I feel like the true answer that Eric could give dovetails into the question that he asked you about how much of your humanity are you willing to give up.
There you go.
Basically, you want me. This is what you want me to do, Eric. You want me to be like, hey, do all the heresy means insta win. Oh, but my brain.
I'm not saying you're
is
gonna
like,
win. I'm just saying it's an option. It's always an option.
Yes, but it's a fast option for insta win.
Like,
Just a little heresy as a treat.
it's
Yeah.
it's the Dune version of crying is a free action. It's heresy is always an option.
It is. And I do plan. But here's the thing, like, it's gonna be a lot easier now that I know the houses are in here for basically doing heresy. So I'm like, I could work with that.
You work with that, yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm like, what am I gonna do about these Titans? Because like these Titans, like I said, they're basically gods. How do you control something like that other than using the brains and yada yada yada?
As leverage, it's a very good question. Once
But
you
here's
and
the thing.
Allfather get to know each other better, you'll find all sorts of interesting tidbits.
Exactly. So it kind of goes up to
Wow.
my next question.
Mhm.
I want you to explain in one word for each of us what you have planned, or an idea of what you have
Oh
planned.
God.
One
Yeah.
word.
Oh, so
One
I was
word?
actually going to save this question for last. If Eric wanted to give any teasers or hints
Oh, okay,
for
gotcha.
season
Oh.
4,
Okay.
because
You
he
can save it
hasn't
for
written
last.
it yet.
That's why I said idea. But like I said, we can wait till last. That's
Yeah.
okay. So
Boy. I think some of you already know the answer to this question, just based on what the last episode and what happened to some of you. But for Daphne, of course, we have abominations. For Archibald, we have machines. For Zoshir, obviously, he's the Mahdi. He is the Word made flesh and all that. But at some point, the truth is going to get out that you are who you actually are, and that may cause some waves in more ways than one. That was more than one word. Harkonnens.
there you go.
Messiah!
Yeah, Messiah. For Aaron,
Nerd.
How dare you?
Galaxy nerd.
I don't want to say the obvious thing like fish tank or something like that, but Cedric. Yeah, Cedric. I'm just gonna go with that. You're gonna see a lot
Cedric.
more of him in season 4.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not Cedric. Edric.
Edric.
Mixed up my
Doesn't
names.
Stilgar kill
Edric.
him?
Who?
In canon, I thought Stilgar killed him.
No.
Okay, I'm remembering
He
it wrong.
does die. That character does die in I want to say the second or third book. When they give the order, okay, let's clean house. Children of Dune. It happens in Children of Dune, I believe. But yeah, that navigator doesn't die anytime soon, unless something happens. Something were to befall him
He's gotta
by
die.
someone named Elois or and so on.
Because if he doesn't die, then we're still fighting the Navigator Guild.
Yeah, no, you have a lot of enemies lining up. The Sisterhood and the Guild are just two of them. So
Pretty sure we're on the
Yep.
Emperor's shit list now.
Yeah.
Just.
We killed a lot of Sadakar and stole
Well,
spice.
So he doesn't know
Yes.
that was us, and like, Daphne would never think this way, but we've got Mossum as the human shield.
Eloise
but-
certainly thought that way.
Yeah. So here's the thing, like I can honestly see him using Masa maybe, and to be honest, I think he wants him to go to Arrakis. So that way he's like House Carino is like so far up their own ass because they don't want to give up the like they're desperate not to give it up. So if he kills off his only heir,
So
Yeah,
I,
but-
I don't think that would happen. So
I feel like you didn't read the books.
no,
He's
no,
a
no, no.
terrible
She's
person.
right.
Okay.
She's right though.
Yeah. So my own interpretation of Shaddam is he was so dead set to become the emperor that yes, Masa might be his son and his future heir, but also he was willing to murder his own father to become the emperor. He thought he took too long to die, so he sped up the process. He is not a great emperor. He is
no.
more than willing to concede things to make sure that he remains status quo emperor.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, so-
where Elrud was the bomb as far as it goes, Shaddam is like that little patsy guy that's willing to let other people, Harkonnens, have this extra power just so that he's the emperor.
He was jealous of Leto. He was jealous of how popular Leto was and how people liked him.
Yeah.
Well, and that sorry.
Yeah, well, so I think so. My take is that Shaddam looks at Masum as his legacy more than he does his daughters, because he's a weirdo like that. And
I was wondering
But-
when they're gonna come in this.
he still
Wonderful
cares
game.
about. So Shaddam's priority is Shaddam, and so essentially what I'm operating from is Shaddam will do a lot to protect his son to make sure that Masum is safe. So I think House Cheshire is at least in his good graces as long as we're like, we have Masum, he's safe, he's happy. Please don't kill us.
And you're not
Um,
wrong. But
and
I
that's
also
why she like agreed to do the thing with Nikolai, because she's like, okay, well the Emperor will see my name, and that will communicate everything I need it to communicate.
So-
Yeah, so essentially, I think if it's Shaddam or Masum, like both on the edge of a cliff, one of them's gonna get tossed over. Shaddam will choose himself.
100%.
Short of a situation that extreme, he'll do what he can to protect his son. Is my
So
assumption.
Yeah. And
So-
that's fair
that
because
makes
that's the one thing he cares about the most is like this legacy that he wants to leave behind.
that makes sense. So it's kind of like one of those things too, like knowing Shaddam and knowing how he is just in general, like the Atreides waiting to depose, like when Archie met with the Atreides and Leto was giving me the spiel on how they wanted to depose the Emperor, I'm gonna be honest with you, Archibald was probably thinking in his head, you're a fool for thinking that this is going to work. You're gonna end up in war. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fair.
Because Yeva was there and she's going to tattle.
100%. That's what I said. Well, not only that, like even if she didn't tattle, it's still gonna end up going to war either way. Like you said, Shaddam would literally kill it. Like he killed his own father for the freaking throne, for God's sakes. He killed his
Yeah,
own son
he's
to
a
have the freaking
pretty
throne.
he's pretty
Like-
heartless that way. But don't forget, the Emperor is just he is he has the strongest house in the Landsraad. But if Leto manages to rally a good portion of the Landsraad against the Emperor, what's he gonna do?
That's a good point. So like, okay, so basically if he knows that he is greatly outnumbered. Oof.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I might have to give him some backup so he does go to war.
I feel like with Shaddam,
Or not,
you would-
or you don't.
he would
No,
find a patsy to do a dirty deed.
Yeah.
So here's the
I mean,
thing.
if it had been anybody else proposing this, it would make sense to be like, yeah, whatever, dude. But this is the guy who is the most popular ruler, the most popular leader within the Landsraad of any house, and it's the one that put Shaddam in that paranoid state where it's like, I got to do something about him and his house, otherwise they can be a threat to my power. And that's why this whole thing started. So the fact that he's making those moves, if Shaddam finds out about that, he's gonna be like, we need to move up the timetable now before this fucking resolution takes place. We don't need this breaking out, you know?
Understandable. So, well, it's kind of like, so with that, and no, because Archibald, and for the sake of two pile, they have to go to war. And I'll tell you why. The reason why they have to go to war is the only way that he can successfully negotiate the trade agreement between the Landsraad and the two pile. There probably are other ways, but this is the only way that it would actually happen. Because honestly, go on. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was saying that's actually a really good idea, because a lot of people think that because it's thinking machines, they're just gonna like murder everybody or whatever. I didn't want to take the same exact tact as like the prequel novels. Like I like some of the ideas, but like other ideas are just like why. So yeah, the thinking machines on two pile they're extremely dangerous. That's for sure. It's not like a fun, happy situation there, but it's not to the point where it's like, oh yeah, you make friends with thinking machines, and now the Imperium is going to be destroyed. It's not going to be to that extreme.
Exactly. So I was like, for me, what I was thinking was I was going to be like, hey, you guys go to war. I'm going to back you up, Atreides. And in return, when you become emperor, I want a trade agreement, and I want you to recognize me as my own entity, whatever I decide to name it instead of two pile, because two pile is the name of a prison system. Needs another name.
Yeah.
Something cool like the Landsraad.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Write all of those questions, all of those plans down, because it's gonna get the intrigue is gonna continue in season 4 exponentially with all the different factions that you're dealing with.
100%.
Okay, so.
But on another note, like, you guys have answered a lot of my questions just by talking, so I only have a couple more. So. Anyways,
Yeah,
I know
so-
Daphne, you were gonna say something.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna say we're sort of coming up on 3 hours. So the last question. So the second to last question would be to us, the players, where would you want your story to go next season? And the last question, Eric, do you have any hints for us? But in between those two final questions, is there anything else that anyone in chat? And thank you so much for contributing, chat. Thank you, Drea, so much. You're always so supportive, and it's so appreciated. Yeah, are there any final questions that anyone has before we get to the last two?
Who dies first?
Guys first.
Who lives longest?
Yeva dies first.
Innocence dies first. Haha.
No, that means Mossum dies with no.
Well, that depends on how innocent your abominations are, too. Who did they cling on to?
Haha.
That's gonna be the fun part. Which ancestor's ego memory did they cling on to become sane?
So, what's interesting is naming the daughter Adelaide with full knowledge of the meta. So that might be interesting. Um, but the meta plan from the player is, and this is also in keeping with what the character would do, is Daphne loves very, very fiercely and completely, and essentially like love can break any conditioning. Can it break an abomination? I don't know. Let's find out.
Very good.
Oh,
mhm.
Secondary thought. What happens if they latch onto one of the Afcardus ego memories instead of your ancestors, and then they basically become, oh, hey, remember how we were dealing with Canley because you killed my daughter?
Stole?
That can happen.
Stole? Not killed, stole?
One can earn the ancestral memories of one parent, and one can earn the ancestral memories of the other. We can say.
Yeah.
That's also
Wait,
the other
that's a-
meta reason where I'm like, well, let's name the son Milos, because nothing bad could happen from that, right?
And then it's the other way around.
Oh god, that'd be so
Oh my god.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
I'm going to
Yeah.
kill you now.
Well, I hope we answered all of the questions from chat, and you all had for me and for the rest of the cast. Before we sign off, however, I wanted to just thank everyone here who watched the show, interacted with us through chat, liked, shared, and retweeted Rachel's promotional stuff. Greatly appreciate your continued enthusiasm and support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, of course, to Rachel and our wonderful cast for allowing me the great privilege to present this incredibly complex season of Dune for all of you. This setting is one of the ones that I've waited for like over 20 years to enjoy with other people, and I can't imagine a better group than you all to enjoy it with. So I'll be seeing all of you on Friday nights, which is why I can't wait for Blade Runner starting March 17th. So don't you dare miss that. Prepare for your existential crisis now.
Gotta get to the last two questions.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was
proceed.
just about to say, wait, hold up.
I thought we had already answered them.
Nope.
Alright, well, so, third to last question from Drea. Do you guys appreciate how great this was as a live play experience for the audience? I mean, I had a blast as a player.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed this if it was just offline, but I think I enjoyed it a little more because we were doing it in front of people.
Oh,
Yeah.
For sure.
100%. I 100% agree with
Interaction,
that.
yeah. The benevolence and the malevolence.
Yeah.
I also think
All
of it
good
too,
parts.
like
the puns. We gotta recognize the puns.
Yeah, shout
A
out to
lot of
Drea
the-
for lovely puns as always.
like a lot of the like light banter in the chat and like
Yeah.
and honestly it's really encouraging for me when I see excited people just as excited as me to play this game or listen to this game in their
Agreed.
tents.
It's
It means
contagious.
I'm doing something good and I'm being a very good character, I should say. Driven
You're
character.
contributing, yeah, absolutely.
Contributing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyways, Eric, what about those
Well,
last
no,
two
okay,
questions?
so, second to last question
Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry.
is where do we want to see our stories go in season 4? This is the question where Eric's gonna be taking notes. So
Yes.
Yep.
Proceed. Just ignore me.
Mother worm.
Mother Worma.
You're gonna have to fight Eloise for that.
I think there's competition for the worm person now.
And no,
Yeah.
she's either gonna become the worm person or basically become your human aid. Hey, you gotta have your pure human aid somehow.
Yeah, in that vein, I'm looking forward to Eloise' resolve being tested. Like, how far is she willing to go to see these ends achieved now? So I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent.
That's right.
We're all looking at the Mahdi now.
Oh God, what was the question again?
Where you want to see your character's story go in season 4? Naeem, Zoshir, Harkonnen, Mahdi.
Oh shit. I want to see him embracing this leadership role and then find
Excellent.
himself in a situation where it means jack shit, like on another planet or something, and see how he
Oh.
copes with that. It's like, I just embraced it and now
Like
fuck.
I mean,
two Kyle?
if
Just kidding.
you like end up in a situation where you're surrounded by other Imperials, they're not gonna give a shit.
Yeah, that's
No.
true.
So for me, obviously it's going to be two Kyle.
Yep.
I 100% want to liberate it. And I know it's going to be hard and it's going to be fucking grueling. And I'm literally probably going to lose a limb or two. It's probably going to happen. But if I think of the way I know it's going, I'm going to be coming, like, shit's going to go down on Arrakis. And then right at the last minute, a 12-mile Hayliner is going to be coming in with these fucking machine troops fucking the Senecar up.
I mean, good. Not that Archibald knows this. Good news. Eloise can pilot them now.
Yes, you can.
if that's a thing, it could be a thing, and that could also be one of the visions where Archibald comes in and does his Archibald thing and just saves everybody. And tells the Emperor, back the fuck down or I'll neuter you.
Honestly, it's Shaddam. You should neuter him anyway.
Oh yeah, no, I
That's
plan
what
on
the Bene
focusing all the
Gesserit thought
anger.
they were doing, and then Kyra.
Yep. So
Yeah, mostly I mostly just want to see House Cheshire juxtaposed against the events of the book unfolding, and see what stays the same and what changes. And like Daphne trying to pilot her house through whatever that means.
Interesting. All right, very good. And what was the last question?
The last question is for you, Eric. It's if you have any hints or teasers you want to give for what we can look forward to in season 4.
Just what I already told you, really. Because I haven't officially written all of it yet, but it's basically going to be life under House Atreides. You're going to come into contact with some criminal elements that you're going to get embroiled in. A lot of intrigue going on there with the criminal organizations. You're going to find out what the wolf meant in that vision. And you work to explore Tupile as a society and how it functions and how it is sort of looked after by the guild and kept in secret. We're also going to look at my take on the thinking machines and what's left of them. Yeah. and it probably shouldn't come as too much of a surprise, being how far we've already strayed from canon. So if nothing else, it'll be a pleasant surprise. Fair enough.
Everything with you is a pleasant surprise, Eric.
Oh, thank you. I
True
appreciate
story.
that. Excellent. Very good. Well, if we've answered those questions, let's reintroduce everybody one last go around before we sign off. Beginning with Leo.
Hello, my name is Leo. You can find me here on Twitch at Leo of the Black, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It's going to be very. I'm excited for Blade Runner, but I do have to say Dune kind of has a special place in my heart because I read all the books, and I literally cannot wait for season 4. And again, Eric, I have to thank you for being probably the best GM to do this game.
You're too kind.
Granted, you kind of are the only GM, but you've done a bang up job with my book, so
I appreciate that.
there you go.
Ambrose.
Hey everybody, I've been me. You can find me all over the internet as Am Changeling and on Etsy at Thornkind. And you can find me playing again in Dragon Age on Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for all of you stuck in this hellscape of a state called Florida. And other places too, I suppose.
Aaron.
Yes, one last time. I'm Aaron. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Great Cthulhu in some fashion. Next, I don't have anything definite on the books, but I'm usually vocal about what's going on. If I'm going to stream on my own channel, or if me and Dre will be doing something, or he'll be doing a collab with some other friends. The only thing I'd like to say is all of you lovely allies and fellow queers, please look out for your trans friends right now. We're fucking tired. We are so tired right now. There's so much awful shit trying to being done in this country right now, and every day it seems like it gets worse. So, yep, please tell your trans friends you love them. We need it.
I love you, trans friends.
We love you.
Thank you.
Devin.
Aaron, we love you.
Thank you.
Drea, we love you. Sorry.
Ambrose too, we love Ambrose.
Yep,
We do love an Ambrose.
Shut up, Ambrose, you're lovable.
I'm Devin. You can find me online at Sword of Sully. Next time you'll see me, it'll be on Monday for some fantastic Dragon Aging. Yeah, I can't wait for, you said probably 2024.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Yeah.
What's the timetable on that there?
So I will probably reach out to Eric on one of two things happens. Either Blade Runner seems to be like it's coming to an end, and more on that in a little bit, or like around October, because my anticipation is to do season 4 concurrent with the movie coming out, with Dune Part 2.
Be a good idea.
Out. Yeah, so at the very least, late 2023, early 2024.
Yeah, we're flexible on time like that.
Yeah.
Wibbly wobbly. And of course, Rachel.
Yeah, on that note, hello, I'm Rachel. This is Still in Fires. Thank you all so much. This has been so wonderful. This has been like one of the best experiences I've had as a player. It's been so much fun. Yes, you can check back in on Monday, where I will be running Victory, Vigilance, and a Sacrifice, a Dragon Age story of the Fourth Blight. It's exciting. They fixed the dwarves' problems. Some of them. The dwarves are still gonna have problems because they're dwarves and it's Thetis. Then they're moving to the Free Marches. And then we are also going to have Strahd, she's the Ancient, on Mondays. Solid Metal, battle tech game using the Fate system. Sir Key, who unfortunately did not make it tonight, is planning an Unknown Armies game, which should include Eric and will probably debut around May. And then yes, this time slot a little slightly altered, a little earlier. We're gonna be off for 2 weeks, in part because I'm gonna be out of town, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do session 1 of Electric Memory, a Blade Runner story. Can't wait. That should be good times. Follow the Twitter, the Stolen Fires Twitter, for any updates.
Excellent. I've been at Modern Recluse. Eric, you can find me on here next time for Blade Runner, Bells on. Big thanks to Rachel. Very, very big, heartfelt thanks to our viewers and fans. And as always, Ya Shuhada. Long live the fighters. Good night, everyone.